Listen, listen, listen. Welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings, where I will ramble on for probably approximately 3+ hours. I'll go into the wee mornings, somewhere around midnight or so. And I don't know. It always seems like I'm not going to make it there. And then we get a little second burst and we end up there till like 12:30. Let's try not to do that today because like many of you, I have to work in the morning. And hey, if you're on the East Coast, we're going after midnight. If you're not, then you're like, hey, you know what? We can go another hour. But hey, it doesn't work like that. So anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in, giving me some of your time on Monday. I hope we can make it a little bit better. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I once again had a busy, busy weekend. There are not enough hours in the day, at least for what I'm doing. I feel like all I do is I work to actually pay my bills, and then I come home, and I'm doing more content for YouTube. But hopefully, in the end, down the road, years down the road, there is some payoff, which is definitely what I'm shooting for. There's no doubt about that. So anyway, like I said, I had a busy weekend. I did, let's see, one live stream, bunch of content. I was able to make it to the gym once, unfortunately not twice like I had planned, just due to all kinds of stuff coming up on Sunday, including a wonderful video. I got a figure in, and it's done absolutely wonderful for me. And it's not even Hasbro, and I know everyone knows that I love Hasbro. Ooh. Everyone knows how much I love that. And contrary to popular belief, I do other things besides G.I. Joe and Hasbro. So anyway, hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. And again, thank you for tuning in here on Monday. So anyway, let's just get right into it. Let's say hi to the chat. I'm always trying to figure out which way to do it. 49 people watching right now. Please hit that like button. I like to say hi to absolutely every single buddy that jumps in here. Because, again, you like to be talked to, not at. Which I know a lot of guys, a lot of channels don't do. They're too busy talking at you than telling you what you like and what you don't like. So anyway, we have Stanley Eberhardt here. We have SES Dog. We have Johnny Reno, who has helped me tremendously with the classic reviews. You have filled in so many gaps that, again, I haven't even gotten to yet. We have Mendoza, Michael Gene Fleming jumping in here. Jay Astro saying hi. Is collecting still fun? I don't know, but it's fucking expensive. You are absolutely correct. We have Krusty Old Crow, David R., and Michael Gene Fleming saying, I'm an introvert, so I can enjoy my collecting, even if the community has a number of jerks in it, and there's a bunch of cool people around it too. And even if they talk shit, is what I'm assuming you're saying. T plus, I don't know. You know what? The best thing about YouTube, or like anything, you don't have to pay attention to the people you don't like, and you don't have to dislike people that other YouTubers don't like. It's your choice, and it's not like the old programming on TV, where if you're not in front of the TV, you're kind of screwed. You can watch it whenever the hell you want. So, Rowdy Row saying, I've been selling all my DC stuff lately. Feels good. Let's see here. We have Ostrodamus Toys jumping in. Oz, I do want to apologize for not going on the Clubhouse more often. I have just needed a break by the time I get to Saturday. I've been on so much. I think actually a Friday away this week, so I'm not going to be too upset. Did I say Daredevil Dave? Snow Wolf is here. You are a clown. 57 GI Bro, who has the best guns in the community going right now. One moderator, Action Figs, who he said he might be late because he was doing a non-toy stream. I don't know when I gave you permission to do a non-toy stream. Last time I checked, Mondays and Thursdays, 9 to whenever you are supposed to be here. I'm not paying you. Oh wait, I don't pay you anyway. You do what you need to do. We have a Liquid Identity jumping in here. Cobra Commander, Matthew Matson, my first moderator who has if you really want to know, so much of the channel success is due to this guy right here. I bounced so much stuff off him, including one of the early things we talked about is I don't want to be a drama channel. Bert Something has joined us. Big M is here. We have Payne's Toy Samples, who doesn't always get in as much as he used to, so it's great to see him here. Krusty Old Crow saying there's so much drama on toy channels. You think we had Melrose Place box sets and General Hospital Gridiron kits. You know what? I absolutely loved 90210. One of my favorite shows of all time. I don't care what anyone says. As a kid, we watched it. It was awesome. And yeah, I just, I know way too much about 90210. MTS is here. We got Lamont Toys. I almost said Malant. I don't know where that came from. Lamont Knight. I don't say. I'm way out of it. Lamont Knight, U.S. Combat Dojo, 3-star draws jumping in here. We have Gungo Pod, which is grow up, not grow old. I'll just say it right now. He had me on his podcast this week. It was not live. I meant to ask you and totally forgot, when does it go up? Because I saw you dropped one today for someone else. So put in the description when you are dropping that, or shoot me an email so I'll know, or shoot me a message. Plastic Fantastic, who is here. Who you better tune in tomorrow for our Circle of Jerks, because I believe we're going to be talking about 3D printing, and you should be there. We have Ronnie Trickshot is here. Whew, my goodness. Todd C says, who needs toy collecting when there's toy tube drama every month that's free? It's there. I don't think it's ever going to end, but it doesn't matter what community you're in, whether it be toys, gymnastics, skateboarding, drama is there. You know why? Because drama sells. It is cheap pops. All right. You ever watch a professional wrestler come out? They get that cheap pop. That's what drama is. Some channels, honest to God, they have to live off drama, or else their channel can't succeed. And that's fine. Do that. Have fun with it. Kenzo's Creation is here. We have Tech 489. Ooh, Viper Scout is here. I feel like I've said a lot of these names already. We have Ted Darklaw from Hella Dope Toys. Go over there, add some stuff to your cart. Use the code APWT. Get 10% off. That's right, 10% off anything, whether it's in stock or pre-order. No one else does pre-order, and as soon as I get it, they're going to ship it out. Sometimes they might even ship you the wrong action figure because it starts with Sir, and Ted is so tired from working that he doesn't know. We have Shark Guy jumping in here saying, hello, friends. Roman shows and Hasbro's your friendly neighborhood to Shark Week is here. Sabira Del Torte. That name always tongue-ties me. Okay, Nolan is here, which now makes us Toy Tube official. Like I said, I like to get through absolutely everyone. This is how I get through 3 hours. All right, just so you guys know. 62 people here. Hit that like button. We have Debo DNA, who will be a future guest on Thursday with a friend. I got to start looking at June, as June's coming along, and I haven't even started, but I got some ideas of people that I want to have on. So Cooter's Garage jumping here. It's rocking the Roman Duke shirt. Love it. Dude, I love this shirt. I want to move it up a little bit, but I think it fits fine. I get to be real particular about my shirts. If they're too, I'm short, so if they sit down too far, they just look weird in my opinion. We have Len jumping in here. We have Tony's Figs, who I may or may not have talked to earlier today, and I actually may be on a stream with him tomorrow. I guess we'll find out tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Cobra Ninja 109. Hey everyone, I don't believe that I've ever seen you here before. Matthew is right now frantically hitting the little button, taking a screenshot, and shooting me over right now to let me know if you are. Anyway, if you have, sorry I missed you. If not, welcome. I hope you have a wonderful time. Graf has joined us. Woo! Look at all these. Debo 90210 ring. I love, I'm telling you, man. Like, I could do a show about 90210 and I'd absolutely love it. Alice and Troy jumping in here. We have Soul Brother number 1. And just so you guys know, there's no 2 or 3. Tommy Olet. I think I got that right. All right, I think I'm done. I think I got that. Oh, we got the Shark 110. We have Fantasy Disruption. I don't think I've ever seen your name before because I think I remember that. And that is an awesome name. And I even got it right, which is shocking. All right. I think I get everything. Derek Holloman jumping in here. And let's see. Cobra Ninja 109 says, I've been collecting G.I. Joe since childhood. I'm 39. You're a youngin'. So I have a lot of love for 90s G.I. Joe. So most people online probably look down on me, but still collecting. You know what? There is no reason for anyone to look down on anyone, right? I'm honest to God. Like, we're spending our good, hard-earned money. And if it keeps us out of, there's so much worse things that we could be spending our money on. Like, when I used to look at people like that talk about skateboarding or whatever, it's like, I could be doing so much worse than skateboarding. Like, come on, man. Like, if this keeps kids out of trouble, awesome. Sean Jones is here. We have 80s Toy Boy, Plastic Skulls, Mr. Wonderful. Oh my gosh, you guys just keep coming in. 65 people here. Whoa, if you made it to the end with Fantasy Disruption saying, I've been here before. I purchased those barrels you made for me, I guess, a year ago. I do remember you. I do remember that. So thank you very much. I definitely do appreciate it. And you had some wonderful photography too. So anyway, I said hi to the chat. I didn't expect to say hi that early. Normally I do it later. But anyway, so what I got in this week, let's talk about that. So what really kind of started off as like maybe a week in videos that weren't going to be that much, turned out to be pretty big. So we'll start with the classic reviews of Duke, CoverGirl, and the Wolverine. If you're not watching the classic videos, the classic reviews, if you like the Wolverine stuff, I'm having a great time doing it. It seems like a lot of people, there's not a lot of views on them, but a lot of people seem to really enjoy just going back down their childhood road, not having to worry about anything. It takes you away for 15 minutes. APC, which will be coming a little bit longer. That thing is a large vehicle. I can't wait to get the Sky Striker in a couple weeks. But I've been having a blast, and kind of just, if you're new to the channel, you're new to why would anyone review 80s toys? Well, it's just super cool to go back and look at all the design that was put into it, the thought that was there. We didn't think about this as a kid. At least I know Matthew Matson did, right? Ed, right? Matthew's going to say, I knew all this. We all, Matthew knows everything. We know that. But yeah, Ostradamus Toy says, Larry, no time for drama. He is shilling too hard. Hey, if I don't shill for myself, who the hell is going to shill for me? So anyway, I got those classic reviews. Then I got this Mythic Legions Sir Gideon and his horse Bishop. Let me tell you, if you do reviews like I do, and I'm not saying mine are any better or worse than anyone else's, I'm just very thorough and very in depth. There is no easy way to do a Mythic Legion. I think it was Darren right here, 3-star draw. He kind of said it. I don't even know where to start when it comes to Mythic Legions because I really like to show off everything, and it took me quite some time. And Bishop, this horse here, crazy how long he actually took. These things are absolutely awesome. And again, even if you don't collect Mythic Legions, let's say you collect Marvel Legends, you start getting those time, right? Classified, any 6-inch form, like, dude, like these horses would be awesome for a walk, right? Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. These things are awesome. All right. They're kind of expensive, but they look so good. I don't even know what other horses are even close, but I mean, you're looking at $75 to $80. Fully worth it, especially if you're going to do, different types of, what the hell is it called? Pictures. But I got that in, both of those. Awesome. Go watch the reviews. This one I show for myself. If I don't show for me, who's going to show for me, right? Bees Battleground jumping in here said, oh, you got a dragon, didn't you? Hell no. I don't know. I'm waiting for them to send me one for free since I understand I get all kinds of stuff for free from companies. Ray Black, hey, Lawrence, and chat. We have Grizzlehorn jumping in here saying, Mythic Legions rock. They do. Hi, it's me, says Bishop, or as I call him, the White Horse. I had fun putting Bishop on Bishop. I'm not going to lie. And then yesterday, I got something that I know people have been waiting, and I was so excited to get it. Now, I'm not about, I don't believe you have to be first. It is nice to be early. And I know I wasn't first because I did see it, but I got the Boss Fight Studios Red Sonja. And let's talk about a long video. And I spent 45 minutes reviewing this thing. Okay. I'm just going to say this thing is awesome. There were a few comments that were made. One basically said, I didn't have that problem. Maybe it's your fat thumbs. And I think it was tongue in cheek. Now, first off, one of the reasons why she took so long to go ahead and do is that I'm behind my phone and she's in front of the phone. Same with all the figures. There's a lot of kibble on this, a lot of things moving. If you're trying to set this up, it's not going to take you nearly as long, or at least it shouldn't, as it was when I was doing it, because you're trying to make sure everything stays in focus, everything stays in frame. You're trying to move things. Things are always going to be moving out of the way. All right. Let's just say that. So it won't take you this much. Another person did say something about, I mentioned about her being nude, and after a while you start to feel like a perv. And I think he might have got it wrong. I wasn't trying to say they were being pervy. I understand why they did it as just a nude buck. I was just saying that after a while of doing it on camera, you start to kind of feel that way because it kept rising up every single time. All right. And I really do think, even though they wanted to have like a universal buck, they probably could have changed the lower area where this isn't like this. I think it just would have made it a little bit easier. But this figure is absolutely awesome. There's a few people that say that the face sculpt, it doesn't look like the digital renders. I went back and I looked at the digital renders. They're pretty spot on. This is not what Falcon was supposed to look like and what Falcon looked like. I think it's pretty spot on. So if you do want a Red Sonja, it was $50. I think someone said $60. I'm not sure now. They may have raised their prices. I know BBTS has been doing that. I got her when she was $50. I think it's well worth $50 for the amount that I've kind of messed around with it so far. So we have Mr. Mad Gus jumping in here and saying, okay, no worries. I'm here. Odin01 jumping in here and saying, I finally shipped my Necronominus wave pile of nuke, and Red Sonja charged the next day. If they haven't shipped yet, and they probably have, you can always call them. If you tell it to ship, and then something comes through that day, or maybe the next day it hasn't shipped, you can tell them to pull it, and they will pull it and throw that in there, just so you know. Hi, it's me, says, I feel kind of pervy when I change my clothes as well. That's on you. And Brick's saying, damn, that thing is $50, huh? I don't know if you're saying that in a bad or a good way. I know you don't have an issue with things prices, but I don't know. Are you saying in a bad or a good way, Brick? Please let me know right there. And then today I got a video, I got something in. It'll be going up probably tomorrow. It'll be going up tomorrow for sure. And that is the Marvel Legends Nightcrawler, basically the Age of Apocalypse. This figure is actually really fun. He's got like 5 hands. He's got a nice sword, a couple different face sculpts. There's the angry screaming one. There's a reason why both their heads are screaming. I may have taken a picture with them. A tail that just kind of rotates, but it actually gets in some really nice positions. He's actually really cool. Pretty happy with this. Again, not too much to it. It's the same as most Marvel Legends. So if you like Marvel Legends, if you've been waiting on that, I think you're gonna probably enjoy it. Now, Matthew, I see. Div, you got the red Sonja because you ordered directly from Boss Fight Studio. So have you gotten it yet? We have Bobby Wool jumping in here saying, if I find a lot of joy in collecting toys now, if only Dial Tone would just show up. You still haven't got Dial Tone? Right, Matthew says, I pre-ordered mine direct from Boss Fight over a year ago. Don't I look like an idiot? Everyone gets here before me. Okay, so I guess you don't have to answer me. I've said before, I don't know why, I've noticed this before. It seems like BBTS gets their Boss Fight stuff before Boss Fight. I know they send them out differently because they have their own crates or shipping containers, but they almost always get them first. And Brick is saying, and I'm surprised by the paint. Is it painted head to toe? No, she's actually molded in the colored plastic. So she's not, you're not going to have to worry about her scraping or rubbing off or anything. But the paint is really good. Go watch my video. It's 45 minutes long. It's doing wonderful. I just want to say, I've had some G.I. Joe videos that just kind of go crazy, or let's say adjacent videos. This video is doing really well, and I'm pretty stoked by it. We have a 610 Yo Joe Daddy jumping here. Says 75 watching with 40 likes. Smash that like button, people. Yes, please do that. It's like the easiest thing to do. And at the end of these, there's always more people that have voted than hit like. Something I don't understand. But as some people have said, maybe I need to wait for the whole thing to before I can actually hit like. And fully understandable. SCS Dog says, what's going to happen first? Dial Tone starts shipping or Claw pre-order goes live? There must be something wrong with the Dial Tone because all the other ones people got in, and that's the one that for some odd reason didn't come in for most people. So I'm not sure exactly the reason why. I thought once it hit the CMD store, they should all start shipping. I think our CMD store. I think is that where I got it from? I don't know where I got it from. But I thought once they hit there, normally they started coming in. So Firefly 74 is jumping in here. Wow. And then Brick says, I do have a few $50 figs. I'm generally surprised that one is 50. But well, again, do you mean that you're surprised that it's 50 because it's too expensive, or that it's only $50? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Nameless Void is jumping in here. I pre-ordered 2 of the Project Atlas figure blanks and on BBTS, and you'll probably get them a little bit earlier. And I saw Edward jump in here. I got mine just after Christmas. I think talking about Dial Tone. I don't know what the hell we're talking about. All right. Okay. So anyway, for this week, we will see that come out probably tomorrow. It's already done. I'm going to be dropping for the classic reviews. We got Tripwire Grunt version 2, which is actually the Falcon Glider. Don't expect to see a Falcon Glider review anytime soon because I don't have one. I'm not going to be buying one. And then the APC, which is a wonderful vehicle. Honest to God, like there are some really cool things with that thing. There's no doubt about it. All right. So let's take a drink real quick. Yeah, and it sounds great. It's been so long since I've gotten that wave now. Sorry to anyone that hasn't gotten it. It seems like it's been so it seems like it's been so long since I've gotten that wave that I can't remember when it actually came. Anyway, this week we have, actually, my thanks. I gotta say thanks. Thank you, Thursday with a Friend, to Kayla. Kayla Silver. If you're not watching her, she does Geek the F Out. They came back, didn't even acknowledge me, which was really hurtful, but I was about to go on live with somebody else, so that's okay. So thank you for coming. Thank you to Dre and Dave for having me on. We talked about the our favorite military movies, and we actually had a blast. I had a lot of fun. We went, I think, 3 hours, maybe a little bit longer. It would have been even longer, but we talked for 15 minutes, and they found out it wasn't recording. It wasn't streaming. But I had a blast, a lot of fun on Friday, and then I actually didn't do any. I didn't watch any YouTube on Saturday. I mean, I probably watched some YouTube, but I didn't go on anyone's stream. I didn't jump on it. Nothing. Sunday we recorded our season finale of Talking Reacher. If you haven't checked out last week's episode, please go check that out, and then be prepared because the season finale. Don't watch it until you've actually watched Reacher. So, Todd C says, "Why is Roman cosplaying as Duke?" I don't know. I just thought it was pretty funny. I just thought it was pretty funny. So going into next week, let's talk about everything that I have going on so you guys can know where to find me. I'm all over the damn place, I gotta say. Anyway, so tomorrow, Circle of Jerks, 6:30 p.m. It is myself, Baldy Lots, the Island Viper Terry, and Toyopics Spec. Now, Baldy will not be on, so filling in for him will be another bald bastard, and that is Tony's Figs. He will be the one that is filling in. You can check it out on any of our channels. So if you don't want to go over someone else's, it will be up on my channel, although I cannot highlight any of the comments. Just know that. But I've trained Tony pretty well. He knows how you're supposed to highlight comments and talk to the people, right? This Thursday, we're going to be dropping Talking Reacher. That is the season finale, as I talked about already. Then on Sunday, over on the Coalition, and I will drop some links in a little bit, over on the Coalition, we are going to be doing a live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Talking Reacher. Talking about the whole season, everything that's happened, maybe what we're going to be looking at doing going forward, because we want to continue doing this. It's been a lot of fun working with Adam. We've had a blast doing it. And then we're going to come back around. And this Thursday with the friend. This is the one you guys have asked for and you have waited for. I don't even know how I'm going to do it yet. I mean, I know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how this conversation is going to go. But this is the one that you guys have wanted. And honest to God, this will be by far my most special guest. Because I don't think Andrew or Emily would ever want to do this. Olivia, my daughter, is going to be my guest on Thursday with a friend. I will just say it right now. I would expect every single one of you to obviously be on your best behavior. And I will say this, the community that you guys have all helped to cultivate, I don't think it's going to be a problem. And I hope that we wouldn't have any yahoos that join in. I'll be 100% honest. It is something when you're talking about your child. I asked her and I told her, if at any point you decide you don't want to do this, you just let me know. So if we're about to go live on Thursday and she says, you know what, Dad, I don't want to do it, then I will just come on and be like, you guys are going to get me for a few hours all alone. She doesn't feel comfortable. But I don't think that we're going to have an issue. And I hope not. And I hope we don't have other assholes from the interwebs that want to cause any problems. I would hope not, right? But it is something that is always going to be a little nervousness, just because that's how you are when you're a parent. So that's the one that I know you guys have waited for. Again, I don't even know how I'm going to ask questions. Clearly, there are certain things that I would never get into. But I have a feeling, like Mr. Madgus kind of says here, she's going to eat Lawrence alive. She might just start running off with it, and then Next Monday, you just see that she is now taking over Monday Night Toy Ramblings. You'll never hear about toys again. Yet you guys will probably all tune in. More than what you do here. People will probably actually hit that like button. No, I don't need a list of questions. It's one of those things you just have to figure out how you're going to discuss them, Allison. So, and War Chest is jumping in here, and Action Figs, one of the moderators, saying we won't have any issues. Anyone gets stupid, they will be dealt with quickly. And again, I would expect, and again, I don't think anyone would. Right? There's no reason for stuff like that. The fact of the matter is, this is supposed to be a good community. If you don't like being here, don't fucking be here. That's simple. I'm not going to shed a tear if you don't want to be here. Just move along. Go watch. There's something else on YouTube that you like, or maybe on Disney Plus, or Netflix, or Paramount Plus. I mean, there's 100 different things to watch. So, yeah, Lawrence and the lawyer. Which I got a really strange comment. About like I'm not even gonna get into it. A real strange comment that I just was like, all right, I'm not even going down there. So quickly, let's talk about the I'm just trying to get rid of some stuff. And hey, this is my channel. So if you're interested in some Valaverse stuff, I got them right here. I'm just gonna go over them really quick. I got 2 Eclipse. If you are interested, $25 shipped. I mean, they're each $25. Female Steel Brigade, $40. I got a rollout for $50. I got a Desert Rat for $60. He shot up in price. Let's see here. 2 Garrison Cavalries, $30 if anyone is interested. Don't post it in here. Shoot me a message on Instagram. First come, first serve. That's how we're gonna do it. There's my other Eclipse. There's another Garrison Cavalry. The Swarm Sentry, $25. I would have thought more people would have wanted this. We got Swiffer Blowback. Fully complete with the swivel. So if you haven't dusted in a while, this is the one you might want. And then the Swarm Tracer, but I don't have the stand. I don't know why. It's somewhere over here. So I'll either find the stand. This one's 30, and yeah, this one's 30 also. So if you're interested, hit me up. We'll figure things out, and I can ship it out. I did have a lot more, but they all got sold this week. So I gotta fix this car, and basically I just want to get this shit out of here. I don't even want to see Valaverse in my house. We have Father Son here. Greetings from Shalad. Evil Dookie is here. You're paying $60 for a desert. You're paying $60 to take that desert rat, right? No. I was shocked. He went up, so did Rollout. Rollout is like one of those ones that he was actually hard to even find on eBay that people were selling. And then when I finally found him, a bunch of them started selling. So, and Roll Keeper is here. So if you are looking, please just hit me up. All right. And then we'll figure something out. I was actually surprised. 3 people hit me up. 2 people took a good amount of them. 1 person only needed 1 duster. Duster's gone up in price too. Oh my God. He couldn't give those things away if you guys remember that. He became a great buck for customs. So MTC, it's hard to get used to this one. I got the weirdest comment over, I think it was a photo of Ninja Turtles. Someone said they want me to lick their feet. See, those are the types of people that you report. You just go ahead and you report, right? You just go ahead and you report it. As for the links, you guys all know it. Hella Dope Toys, I already mentioned them. APWT, you get 10% off everything. Go over to EE, Entertainment Earth. I know no one likes to shop there, but go look at their deals, because if you find a deal, stuff that's on sale, use code APUNK, you get 10% off. When stuff goes on sale there, they will blow it out, and then you get an extra 10% off. I know people have really, really got lucky with that stuff. Amazon, you just have to hit the link. You know how it is. Once new stuff comes out, I always put the Amazon links out there. Also, I guess what I should have coming out also is some Top Fun toys, some new weapons, and I will also have a code for that too, which is Punk with Toys. You get 10% off their guns. They got some really cool guns that no one else is doing, so I think you're really gonna enjoy that. And Woody, go back. I just showed off all the Valiverse stuff that I have. So if you're still interested in any of them, hit me up. I don't think you really needed very much, or I think you only the one you asked for I had already sold. And then I quickly I gotta just address this. A lot to do with the drama. And again, I don't really give a shit. I'm so over it. I don't want to be a drama channel. I have no problem confronting the drama, and I think we've all seen this. Now, Chad, he's the one who constantly wants to do this. I don't really care, all right? I understand what people are doing. They need to keep this drama so they can keep their channels relevant. And it's not just him. It is other people that are doing it. I don't fucking care. I've made my piece on what I think. If you think I don't say people's names, go back to the copyright strikes when Shark News lied about me copyright striking. Chad lied about it and pushed it out there. I said their names on that live stream. I have no problem saying what I feel, but the fact of the matter is, just fucking move on, everyone. All right? Create content. That's how you build a fucking channel. That is how you build a community. All right? Push through. Do what you're supposed to do. If you want to be a drama channel, we've seen these drama channels come and go. All right? And it's one of those things, I'm over it. All right? I'm over it. And yes, before anyone says anything, I know on Tuesday I'm doing a show with a couple of people that love to instigate it. And that is perfectly fine. All right? It is all there. I do it. But I have to address things for myself. And I've already said my piece. All right? I already said my piece on that stream. And if you're wondering what stream it is, it's the copyright stream. All you have to do is go to my lives, type in most popular, and it's the only one with over 3,000. And you can hear everything that I have to say. All right? Because when people lie about me, when people make up lies and shit, I'm going to address it. All right? And for some odd reason, I don't know why, but It's Chad seems to be on this fucking... He's on this fucking tear to attack anyone that he deems is a fucking G.I. Joe, Hasbro shill, hooded Cobra commander, the full force, a toy kind of mood, shark eyes, toy optics, Goldilocks, Bees Battleground, all these fucking people. Have fun with it. You know what? I've already said my fucking piece. Go back and watch that stream. You guys will enjoy it. I may do some digging after that too. Anyway, I think a few more people have jumped in here. So let's finish saying hi to everyone. Toy Matrix saying, yo punk, yo ramblers. We have Chris. Wait, I said it right? Karis Lupin. Anya Sonja is in my thoughts. We have Hustle SM jumping in here saying, Larry Neck, what's up here? Cobra Ninja 109 saying, that's why I stay pretty quiet in the community. I just like G.I. Joe, don't like the drama. Life is too short for drama. I'm with you, and I've always been one person for better or for worse, that I will speak my mind. I wish at times I could be like the full force. I wish I could be like toy anxiety and geek dad life and just ignore it and fucking move on. But I can't. And I've been like this my entire life with shit. If something is approached to me, something is put in my face, goddamn well, I'm going to fucking address it. It's just who I am. And no, I'm not fucking big man behind the fucking keyboard. All right. I'm a fucking little man that doesn't have a problem speaking my mind. If everyone else has if everyone else can say it, why can't I speak my mind, especially when shit isn't fucking true? Largo's Lair jumping in here saying, don't mess with Lawrence. Roman doesn't like it. He really doesn't like when you mess with Olivia. Bill Lioneer saying, yo, punk, F the drama. Leave that alone. We're all having fun with Classified. Dude, that's just it right there. I'm here to have fun, right? This toy stuff, it's fun. It's fun going out there taking pictures. It's fun doing content, or else I wouldn't be doing it. And if you're not having fun with it, find something else to do. Right? I think life is too short. Life is too short, right? So just find something to focus your energy on, man. Like, seriously. But that's where I'm leaving it. Tomorrow, I don't know. But I need to address it for myself. I don't need to be in my own little clique. I don't need to be in a community. I don't need to have other YouTubers do it for me. I need to address things that are being said about me. That's why I did it with Shark News when he made blatant lies about me false copyright striking him. That is why I addressed Chad when he fucking pushed it out, knowing that it was a fucking lie. All right? And everyone else that also did it, because I addressed a lot of people. Junkion did it. The 3POA did it. Like, I address shit. And unfortunately, people don't like when when you put that wall up and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't have skeletons in my fucking closet. I've discussed that. So anyway, whew. That was a lot of fun. But I think I think I've said all that I need to say on it, right? So anyway, quickly, Toy Matrix saying, is that Red Sonja sold out? Somebody said earlier that EE, Entertainment Earth, is still putting it up for pre-order. So, I guess we'll see. I'm not sure. But, I mean, Matthew's still waiting. Maybe Matthew will sell his because he's not going to get it for like another year, right? But try EE if it's sold out on BBTS, because I know BBTS put it up there. And again, if you haven't watched it yet, it's shocking because that video is still doing super well. Which again, I'm a little channel. We're all little channels in the toy world for the most part. And when you get 2,000 views in just over a day on something that isn't G.I. Joe, which is what you're known for, you kind of do a little dance and a little jig, and you're like, yay! Because unless I'm throwing a figure like the like the Marvel Legends Falcon, no one really seems to care about the other videos that I do. So, anyway, we'll try E. And again, I should have put a link up to it. That way you can you can't really use my code. It's really weird. Like, you can't use the code to pre-order stuff. You have to use a link to go into it. Anyway. Woo! All right. And look, there comes Roman if you can't hear him. All right. I guess it's time to talk a little toys because that's what you guys all came for, right? Or did you guys come here for the rant and the ramblings and all that other stuff? Do you want to say hi? Say hi. Oh, I know. Watch out for the figure there. Say hi. Say hi. Oh my God, I love you too. All right, but no, we're not going to do this. All right. There's someone else downstairs that can let you out if need be, and I let you out. I know. Now everyone hears you. Lay down. All right, you're good because you're down now. There you go. Who doesn't love a dog that's like, hey, you know what? I'm the star of the show. Like, the funniest thing, I don't know who thinks they're more important to the show, Olivia or Roman, because they both think that they are that they're the most important ones when it comes to this. um, Matthew, at that point, it didn't matter. All right, I didn't have to say it. He knew what he wanted. Because believe me, it went through my mind. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Let's see here. And sharks, I'm sorry, the shark, because there's multiple sharks. I came here for Roman. We have Action Figure Addict 112 jumping in here. We have Terrence's next toy saying, if you think collecting isn't fun, the problem isn't the hobby. The problem is your obsession with it. You know what, Terrence? I don't know if I've ever heard it put that way. But when you say that out loud, it makes all the sense in the world. That your obsession with a hobby. And again, I think that can be anything. Like if you're not having fun skateboarding, but you have some sort of obsession with it and the people that are doing it. I've never heard it said that way, but I think that you said it in a really good way. So thank you. I can't speak that elegant because you guys have heard me speak. I'm lucky that I was able to read it that eloquently. Anyway, on to some toy stuff. Everyone, don't go anywhere. There's really not that much Mo 2. Matthew says, Punk needs a Roman cam. I've been saying it for a long time. Again, I don't know what I like. He's not always in the same spot. And I don't want him walking around my house. I don't want him walking around my house and everyone's like, hey, look, that's Punk's home. All right. A little bit of Masters of the Universe. And this is Valtech. He went up for $20 on Mattel Creations. But remember, you need a $10 subscription to order this. Again, something I don't fully understand. I understand I do understand what Hasbro does. You get free shipping. This is just like, hey, you want to order this? You want to buy this? It's going to cost you $10. And then we have Sergeant Red jumping here saying, sup, Larry. I believe this is John because Red had made her own account, so we wouldn't be confusing, but he usually doesn't come in this nicely, so maybe it is Red. Again, I am not collecting Mo2 Origins anymore, but there is something about this figure that I think looks really, really good. Okay, it's John. It is John. Same Mattel sucks. I think these wings look cool. I think their head sculpts that they've been doing, I know I keep mentioning this, man. I think they look really, really good. For a $20 figure, which they were $15 for a while, and they have gone up. I just think that they have really done a great job creating these figures. I'm not a fan of how they, it's $10 a year to order these figures. It's not a lot. I mean, I waste $10 on a lot less. I waste $10 on a lot more dumb shit, but I'm not sure why they do that, but they can do it. And again, you're going to have limited articulation, but it is what it is. I mean, you know what you're getting when you get a Mattel Origin. So if you're interested, you need your $10 to get this, and then you're looking at, I think it was $20. And we hit 100 people watching right now, so please hit that like button if you haven't. Didn't think they were 15. They were $17.90 when they first came out. They were $15. I'm almost positive, which again was a long time ago because that was right at the beginning of the what is it called? I don't want to say the word. Matthew's like, you can't say that word. The pandemic. That's it. So I think they were. I could be completely wrong. The collector jumping in here says, when this first launched, it was limited to 1 per customer. I checked back later and noticed they increased it to 3. Isn't it funny when they do stuff like that? I love when they just kind of like throw in little things, and all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, they changed that. But again, I think this figure looks really good. I think the wings look good. Nice size wings too. Not too big and not too small. Again, you will never hear me complain about the size of the gargoyle wings because I knew how big those damn wings were when I was ordering them. NECA, you can start producing them again. We're all waiting. You've shown us 3 figures that we all want. At least give us those 3 figures, I guess, and then tell us all to go kick rocks, right? And Terrence says, a purple demon angel type creature is awesome. You just like strung words together, but it does make sense. Flying monkey vibes. Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure. And then he comes with his, I don't know what this thing is. It looks like it's some sort of like water can or gas can, but it has eyes on it. And I believe that square is supposed to be the mouth, and those are actually supposed to be the arms. I did not watch She-Ra. I know nothing about She-Ra. If I am correct, I believe this is She-Ra. Tatsi says R2D2. Look what I did. It's a fruit juicer. It's an evil Roomba. You know what? If you've ever seen where those people have the automatic Roombas and the dog shits on the floor, maybe that's one. Stanley says, "Those who's the garbage disposal?" He comes with an air fryer. Okay, I see the air fryer more than anything. I do see the air fryer more than anything. Is that a helmet or no? I don't think it's a helmet because they never show him wearing anything like that. So I have no idea exactly what it is. You want to go outside, buddy? Go. After he was all comfy, then my son's like, okay, I'm done with what I was doing. Grizzlehorn says, hey, Punk, you back to flip our Kickstarter for Mad Hatter? I did not, because at that time, there was other stuff that I was picking up, and even for, I didn't want to get into it. Funds were already kind of tight with how much stuff was being ordered at that time, so I did not, although I think it is awesome. I love the fact that whole flipboard, it came from this just funny idea that he had, and I think it's really cool, and I love the fact that they made it so it fits with Motu Origins. Great concept. I remember when he was doing those. Mad Hatter is real. If you're not following Mad Hatter, I haven't watched much of his stuff recently, but he's really funny when he does his videos. That's, I believe, what he does in California. I think he produces music or does something with videography. He does a great job. So I did not back it, but it is pretty cool. So anyway, this is a zoo story. No, so okay, so it's clearly he actually has multiple of these robots. Whatever they are. You know, like John said, it's a Roomba. One said it's, Woody said it's an air fryer. So it's like an all-in-one thing. But I would say clean it out before you air fry it if you let it Roomba your house. All right. And here's the mini copy, Shadow Heart. I think he's a good-looking figure. But again, I know absolutely nothing about it. But if you guys do and you want it, go pick it up. Again, I really do still like the Origin stuff. It's just nothing. I had to move on. Sadly, had to move on. Legend series jumping in. I got to talk something quickly about Legend series. Now, I am not a channel member of his. I do apologize, Tony. But he is doing something really cool where if you are a channel member, he is creating, or he created in his wrestling video game, a character of you, and then he's doing matches. And if I am correct, he is doing the commentary of it. And that is something unique that I don't know of anyone else that is doing something like this. If you don't know, Tony was a professional wrestler. Then he went into announcing. So he actually has a background in this. And I think it's fucking awesome, Tony. I really do. He says, very correct, brother. So I think that is awesome because you're giving something very unique for the channel members that are joining. And I think it's awesome. So keep up the good work, man. Like you truly are one of the good guys, man. Like every time that we've talked, I've really enjoyed talking with you. So, and let's see here. Gun Bunny Customs is jumping in here. All right, McFarlane Toys. I'm dreading the day when I put up McFarlane Toys and all we have is no Batman. It's gonna happen, and it's disappointing. All right, but we still have some DC stuff right now, and here we have Green Arrow. Now I know we showed this off I think last week or maybe the week before, but now we're actually getting shots of it. These figures are starting to look better, which is awesome because really they should. They still have these ugly pins, and we're gonna take a look at something I don't have in slides when we get to the end of this because it's McFarlane related. But this Green Arrow, even though it's not a Tony official Green Arrow, doesn't like it. I think this looks pretty good. He's got the quiver in the back here. These figures they're all so out of scale, and I'm really interested to see how Mattel is going to handle this line. I really do hope they go with 6-inch figures so we can have a Batman standing next to a Captain America that isn't $100 or $150, Mafex or Mezco figure, right? Something that's $25 to $30. So, DJ 5000 jumping in here saying, sad to see McFarlane lose the DC license. I do wonder, DJ, and I don't think I've ever seen you here before. And if I'm incorrect, I apologize, but it's great to have you. I'm not sure how many people agree with you on this. And, the reason why I say that only is because I think people are really disappointed that he hasn't gone pinless and that his scale was never to scale with 6-inch figures. But there are guys like Tony's Figs and Toy Games that are big into this. But you really never see a lot of people doing photography with McFarlane. And I think that's very harmful to his brand. BX and Medic jumping in here and saying, hey, Punk and everyone. A few people jumped in here. We have Trust a Screamer right here. And again, we know it is Trust a Screamer because that's what his wife said when he was on Thursday with the Friends. So, and MCR says it would be cool if Mattel releases DC in 6-inch figures. And I think that's what most people are hoping for. But then again, you say, if you're Mattel, does it benefit you to keep the 7-inch figures? I don't think that it does because people might say, I already have all these Batman, right? I already have Batman. Once you put it in the 6-inch form, you're going to force people to change out and switch over, and you're going to bring in, I think, new people, especially if your design is good. The other thing that you have to look at is Mattel does Masterverse, and they're in the 7-inch scale. So maybe it just stays that way. It's really, really hard to say. Legend Series says, because McFarlane toys are impossible to stand and pose. You said it, not me. But I do think this figure looks good. And Tony, I don't know. I'm looking at this. It looks like somebody found a way to stand this. You don't need toe articulation. I'm looking at this and like his feet aren't even flat on the ground. They probably moved so fast to get that picture. DJ 5000 saying, thanks for having me. I think I appreciate the availability of McFarlane DC line, at least the non-platinum. You know what? I make jokes. A lot of us make jokes about who the hell is buying this, who wanted this. somebody wanted it, because you are absolutely correct. He is the one brand that constantly has figures on the shelves, right? And they're always being cycled through. People will be like, oh my God, no one's buying all these Batman. But guess what? There's always new stuff. There was always new stuff. Go back to Mattel when they first dropped Mattel Origins, or not Mattel Origins, Motu Origins, right? People are like, all we ever see is Skeletor and He-Man. And they were correct at first. But I'll tell you what, I'd go into Target and I'd see one He-Man and 5 Skeletor. And the next day I'd go in there and there'd be 2 Skeletors and 4 He-Man, which meant they were restocking. And I was constantly seeing them go down and then come back up, which meant people were buying it. So this one here, Tony, I am with you 100%. No one has ever stood a McFarlane figure on one foot without some sort of help. So I'm with you here. This is probably super glued. Victor here jumping in and saying they had the most ugly faces and out of scale accessories. So I can't completely disagree there. Some of their, I think a lot of their sculpts are really good right now. We've discussed this before. I think this one looks good. Some of them are absolutely awful. Awful. Which I always find crazy, because when you go back to Todd Toys, when he started Spawn, they had the best sculpts of anything that was sitting in the toy aisles. And then for him to, he knows, he doesn't seem to care. And it's disappointing, because I've always been a Marvel guy over DC. But I think Batman is the greatest superhero of all time. But he has this market, and he just doesn't. It's like he doesn't care as long as he can produce Spawn figures. I really do think that. Like, and he does live by the philosophy of, I would rather sell 10 figures at $10 each than one figure at $100. And I can agree with that to a point, but at the same time, we're adults collecting toys. We want more than what a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old would want. They may love this. It's just a toy for them to run around with. But we look at it and we're like, man, I want to do photography. I want this thing posed on my shelves. I want to do stuff like that. Some people, they want to do the creepy AI. Don't do that creepy. Don't be that guy. Don't be creepy AI guy. But anyway, here's what he comes with. He comes with his bow, his quiver, the arrows that look kind of like grass. So, True Star Screamer says, no joke, at my Target in the Marvel Legends, there was a Quake, a Vulcan, and a freaking Yondu. They literally had to clean out the back to put something on the shelves. Yeah. But when it comes to DC, man, all over. And he says, are you sure about that, Punk? That medieval Spawn was kind of up there. Well, we're going to be talking about that at the end, but I'm not sure what I'm not sure what I was talking about. That medieval Spawn looked awesome, but it has fucking pin joints. I didn't put in the slides because there's like 100 pictures of it. I just saw it when I got home today. So anyway, we spent way too much time on Green Arrow here, the Connor Hawk version that Tony hates. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. Allison has to come up with a whole new gimmick, because guess what? When Toddy loses the license, he's going to be creating, 35 Batman since the time the stream started. So looking at this figure, he's on a much bigger buck. He has the Batman Beyond logo. This dark blue and black. But man, I'm going to say it. I think I love the look of this. I believe this is a different world, a different universe Batman. I think this looks really good. So I don't think I'm going to be buying it, but I do like the way that it looks. I like that logo, even though all I think about is Batman Beyond. But remember, that was his uniform too. But Victor says, don't get me wrong. There were a couple of decent figures. I even bought a few of them. A few, because a lot of them didn't look. No, like I said, I think now his figures are looking really good. Not all of them. I think they're looking better. It's just too bad that it's coming to an end. He probably would have lost it anyway because Mattel, if they want it, they're going to be. They can outbid anyone to Hasbro. Let's be honest. So, if you need a Batman, no, I gotta give it the Toddy though, man. He started going to soft good capes, and for the most part, he keeps the soft good capes. Now they're probably not as good as like some of the ones from GPS lot that Tony's Figs orders from, but I don't think many people want. I don't think anyone needs great ones on a $25 figure. Actually, I think these things are still like $22. But Marvel Legends, they're not doing it yet. Everyone should have soft good capes at this point. Because let's be honest, the plastic capes suck. they suck. DJ Mr. McFly jumping in here, and we have Kiwi GI Customs and Collections, a soon-to-be guest on Thursday with a friend also. But this is another Batman. How many Batmans do we need? I don't know. According to Todd, we always need a Batman. And let's be honest, there should always be a Batman, a Superman, a Wonder Woman, a Spider-Man, a Wolverine, a Snake Eyes. These should always be on the shelves. So, anyway, I don't know how many more slides I have of Batman. Oh, we should be at the end here. Punisher Bill jumping in here saying, hello, Punk, you rock, bro. Thank you very much. I have a little cowboy hat. I don't have a cowboy hat, but I think I look good in a cowboy hat. Victor, yeah, the scale was another issue. They went all over the place. How can you have a proper line when your scale is not consistent? And I think that's a huge thing that you're saying right there. It's one thing to not be in scale. He does look chunky, but I think he's supposed to. It's one thing to not be in scale with Marvel Legends or other 6-inch figures because you decided to go 7-inch line. But the fact that a lot of his own figures were not in scale with each other. That was the thing that it's never made any sense, right? Like why would you make your own stuff, in scale? I mean, O-ring figures in scale with each other. 4-inch figures in scale with each other. Classified, for the most part, unless you're talking about Serpentor, Kung Ho, and Roadblock, all in scale. So, Baldy Fox Reviews jumping in here saying, Punk, put on your Batman costume when we talk McFarlane. I actually do have a Batman mask downstairs. I do actually have a Batman mask. You may find this funny, but it's kind of baggy on me because I'm not the biggest person. But I actually do have one. My dad had it for some reason, and then I took it. On to Supergirl. Page Puncher with her sword, because why wouldn't Supergirl need a sword? And I think we established when we talked about this, they literally gave her a sword because of this one comic cover that she's holding up a sword. So this is where it's like you're taking a risk, and is it going to pay off? And what I mean by that is, you have this what looks like a soft goods cape, but her skirt is ultimately flowing. So it's clearly in the wind flowing. So if you do a shot where she's flying, well, it's not going to be probably laying properly. Maybe some people don't notice that, but some of these photographers, they're crazy. And if this is flowing like this, then her hair should obviously be flowing in the same direction also. But I guess it is that comic cover there. So I guess maybe it does make sense. I don't know. I'll probably just do another one with a different skirt. Lunchbox Killer jumping in here saying, what up, APWT? Good evening. Victor saying, geez, that gold belt is huge. It doesn't even match the source material. No, it's pretty close there. I mean, you can see the comic cover right there. I mean, it might be a little bit bigger, but if you remember the the big gold heavyweight championship belt for WCW, that thing was always way too big. But and that's always one of Todd's biggest issues, right? Isn't always one of his biggest issues is that he'll do a Batman figure, and people will be like, but he's not even doing it properly, which doesn't make sense, right? But people overlook at it because it's just over $20, and they're like, all right, if you don't want it, there's another Batman coming probably before you get out of the toy aisle. Beardy McBearderson jumping in here saying Bat Punk's cape drags on the floor. The cape I have is like this vampire cape. I don't, and it maybe I'll pull it out for next year for next week if I can find it. Maybe I'll start the stream off tomorrow. Actually, I have to dig it out, so I don't think it's gonna happen. Anyway, so here's the back, and again, I do think this cape is actually pretty good. It has the big S on the back, so kudos to him. Marvel Legends, Hasbro, take a look at this. Do this. And again, when you do another Destro, and you give us another Pimp Daddy Destro, we better have a soft goods cape. A matter of fact, when they do the Iron Grenadier Batman, or the Iron Grenadier Destro, make sure it's a soft goods cape. So, Hustle SM says, "Hold up, this isn't even Batman review. This isn't an art Batman review." I'm not sure what you mean. But thanks for joining. All right, so here's the Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. They probably should have given her a crypto. I don't know if that's actually a crypto or not, but here we have giant Superman with giant pins. Man, those pins are huge. I'm sorry, the pins just, I don't understand why this guy is so against going pinless. It's something that but this, and he acts like he's never even heard of it. Now, I will say this, the pins in the leg actually look fairly small here. And when you do have a figure that's like this, that is the same color, you can kind of get away with the pins. But the soft good cape, same stand, he's basically just levitating. I love the giant Superman hands. I know we've talked about this before, but man, those hands look huge. Those are man hands. So there we go. There is Superman. Oh, all right. So before we get to this, let's remove this. This is actually pretty cool. They changed something on StreamYard, so you can present. It's right there, really easy to use. So anyway, let's talk about this. And I know we saw the Kickstarter before, and I just want to show off some of these things quickly. And I did not back this, but this is the Medieval Spawn Kickstarter from McFarlane. And I thought it looked really good when it was out. I think it was like 80 or 90 bucks after shipping. Then you could kind of pick if you wanted a black and white. You could pick a couple different colors. I think it looks really good. So here's everything that you're going to get with it. And then you have this certificate, which probably means shit. It is, oh man, it's packaged in the original. So this is how the original one looked, because I had it. And these were like the worst types of casing to open. Your hands would be completely cut up, like you just were like you just murdered someone and they were fighting back. You murdered someone with a knife. Special edition comic book. I'm hoping this thing just kind of opens up. Okay, so there's the shell of it. So we're going to get to the nuts and bolts of everything. So everything is packaged really nice. And this figure looks damn good. And Black Genghis jumping in here. Great to see you here, Kevin. Sometimes it's weird, like you say someone's name and you're like, does everyone know who I'm talking about? There are some people that still don't know who Ed is. I have to say the detail that he put into this, and again, if this wasn't a Kickstarter and he put all this detail into it and it was limited, I may have been willing to purchase it, but I don't know. But looking at this, like the chain armor and everything, I think he really did a good job with this sculpt. But once again, here we are. Look at this. Pins. Why are we still using pins on a Kickstarter like this? People paid some pretty damn good money for this. And yes, it's harder to see, but you have this nice chain armor going down. And then, oh, look at this. Just a pin that's right there. Again, I don't understand. And they stick out like a sore thumb on the side. So, but I think for the most part, this was pretty good. So if you back this, again, but here he doesn't have this should have really had at least a soft cape that came with it. But if it's something that you ordered, if you backed it, please let me know in the comments. Again, I really did like this and I wanted to back it, but I just kept going back and forth to way too expensive for a McFarlane figure. I know that sounds awful, but it does look pretty good for the most part. I think the detail in it is really good. But to think, I just got, this Boss Fight Studios, which is a smaller company, $50, and the detail on it is awesome. So I think that's enough of McFarlane right there. Rika jumping in here saying, is this only exclusive to people who invested in the Kickstarter? Yes. I believe that you could only get it on the Kickstarter. And I think he's done that before. So fully understandable. I guess I don't know. I don't really have you have Hasbro and Mattel. They do their, Kickstarters, and I'm okay with it. But I think when you're doing an actual figure where you've already done a medieval Spawn, I don't think it really should have been a Kickstarter, and I do think it was a little too pricey. But that's the only time that it's going to be done. So, hopefully that's the only time it's going to be done. Because if it's not, then you're kind of like, fuck. We have Skunkworks jumping in here saying, yo, another former guest on Thursday with a friend, and actually had a blast with him, dude. So go check that out. Don't check it out right now. You're supposed to hit that like button. 82 people watching, only 78 likes. But my favorite thing is 138 votes. How 138 of you vote, but only 78 of you can hit like? Hit the thumbs up. All right. On to Haya. I had to put this in here because you know what? They got a 3-headed dragon. And it has fire breath. You don't even have to buy the fire breath separate like your mythic legions. I know. I'm waiting for it. And this one has 3 heads that come with it. You got to buy yourself an extra head when it comes to the Mythic Legions one with fire breath. That's $150. This thing comes with wings too, right? Not $150 for wings. You're damn right I'm about to offend some people. And look at this. 14 inches high. That's 35 centimeters. Hi, I don't care. I live in America. I live in the United States where we do inches. Look at this. You get 3 different fire effects. To get 3 different fire effects with that Mythic Legions one, well, that's going to cost me what? $450. No, I'm. I just found it funny. Haya has some really detailed stuff. This is nowhere near gonna have the same scale, the same articulation, or the same size as the Mythic Legions one. But I did want to have a little drop a little joke. I'm sure someone in the cabal right now, they got steam coming out their ears. Their eyes are popping out like the masks, just flipping out that somebody would even dare compare, even if it's a joke, this, the Haya to the Mythic Legions. But it's fun. I don't think this is $450 either. I don't even know if there was a price. I know it's not $450. How much is this thing? Someone find out how much this is for me. It's the only Haya thing that I have. All right. I needed material. All right. I needed material because I have a feeling we're going to get to like, you still collect, and people are going to be like, nope. So $123. And I don't think that's a bad price for something that stands over a foot tall. Well, over a foot tall to the top of the wings. Right? KJ says, I would straight up back a classified flag control tower HasLab. No! Why do I want a control tower? I'd much rather you know what? No. I'd much rather have a headquarters. I'd much rather have a terradrome. I would much rather have the thing that I never had, which was that the mobile base. I never had that. Should have bought it when they were trying to give those things away along with that second headquarters, and I didn't fucking buy it. It pisses me off. Just Jeff says, clearly this dragon is superior. It has 3 heads. I'm with you. And Woody, I'm sorry. You wasted your money on a Mythic Legions dragon when you could have bought this one had you just waited. And you have 3 heads. Black Genghis says, I'd rather have a terradrome. Do it in quarters. Save on 2. No, I already told you guys my plan. There's 96 of you. Terradrome, HasLab. It is 1/2 circle. It is made so you can push it against the wall, so you can put it on a table or whatever. You push it against the wall, and you can even have like an insert that goes on the back that makes it look like a full. But if you back 2 of them, they connect together. You'll end up with 2 fire bats. Make everything everything close up together, and then you can have a full terradrome, or you can just have a half one that gets pushed up against the wall, but it looks proper. I've solved your next HasLab. I should run around and do videos about it now. All right. Anyway, so there's your dragon. 3 heads. I talked about it too much. Just Jeff says, Hasbro is known for making stairways to nowhere and quarter hallways, so going half-ass on a terradrome would make sense. I don't think it would be half-ass. I think that come on. Hey, let's not do that. I know I'm a fucking show for Hasbro, and I fucking love Lenny and Gridiron, but let's be honest, dude. Their HasLabs have been anything but half-assed. I can't speak for the other brands, but the Joe ones, yeah. Master Hoarder, 14 inches isn't shat. Not for some of the people that I've seen in movies. Anyway. I'm the Super 7. So, oh boy. This is going to make probably some people not like me too much when I point something out. But I'm just going to point something out that I think people aren't going to like. And I tried saying it before. So anyway, we get the solicitation of the actual reaction figures, but they didn't show all of them. I don't know why. But we do get the I can't think of the Zartan. We have another Snake Eyes. another Cobra Commander, which kind of looks weird. His jacket looks kind of weird, and then we have Wild Bill. So this has been a huge point of contention. As a matter of fact, this has caused so much fucking drama in the fucking community over him having 6 fingers. Now, I pointed out that I don't think that he actually has 6 fingers. I think that he has 5 fingers, and what people think is that 5th finger throughout on the trigger is actually the backdrop. Now, this isn't the best version that I have, and here's why I'm going to say I think that it's not. So if you look at it, the back explosion is almost the exact same color. Also, the finger would not be in that position. Now, would holding a pistol like this be stupid? Yes. There's no doubt about it. But so is creating an O-ring figure that has a gun that has a pistol that has a trigger guard, because they don't have trigger fingers. I think this is what they were trying to do, and it's stupid. So before anyone goes running and saying, oh my God, he likes it, he says it's awesome. No, it's fucking stupid. But I think they were just trying to recreate exactly what, and again, whether it be AI or not, it doesn't really matter. That's neither here nor there. It sure looks like it's fucking AI. But I think they were trying to recreate it as how the figure is actually going to hold it. Because I can't think of any other G.I. Joe gun that has a trigger guard on it because, well, they don't have trigger fingers. So I think the AI art, or whoever drew it or whatever, was trying to make it look like this. Because they were trying to make it how the O-ring actually was going to hold it. And yes, it is stupid. But I pointed this out before, and I actually think that this is what it's supposed to be. I could be completely wrong. And Tony is saying, nice try, Punk. That shit has 6 fingers. Hey, maybe. Again, either way, it looks stupid. I mean, I'm not going to lie. But I don't think that it really does. So, but again, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change that the art isn't good. When this actually ends up in hand, maybe people will actually see it and you'll be able to tell a little bit better. Here we have Snake Eyes. I liked when they said, we're going to give you characters you don't have. All right, cool. And then they gave us characters we already have. Already 2 Snake Eyes in their O-ring line. Already 2 Cobra Commanders. And yes, one is in the snowsuit. Maybe that's the first one you should have given. No one needed another Cobra Commander, even though he's a little like the cartoon. Not enough. All right. Here's the artwork. It looks fine. Again, I'm not a big fan of what Super 7 does. I've looked at these figures, at least the ones that I've seen. I've only seen a few out there, and I haven't picked any up. And hopefully they're going to start doing more stuff like the O-ring is supposed to. When I had Patrick, not Picard Stewart, he pointed out some things that I went, okay. Because I said something doesn't look right on these. And then when he talked about it, he went, dude, you nailed it. That is why what I couldn't put my finger on, you knew exactly what it was. Victor says, give us blonde wig, Snake Eyes, nuts. I have a feeling you're going to get it. I really do. So, why is he purple? Because in the cartoon, at times, he was purple. Cartoon's not canon, just so everyone knows. But no, he was purple. The same reason why the classified one with the polar bear is in purple. So, but I mean, even the artwork here, look at this. Like, even the artwork, we can tell here. Oh, hold on. So even the artwork, it's the exact same. So they're not even trying here. It just sucks. Like, whatever. But if you like the O-rings, I know some people have enjoyed them. I wanted to give them a chance, but unfortunately, it was hard to. First Monkey Fiction dropped this Toylanta exclusive. Now, I am very interested. I would love to know if this is also going to be a Joe Fest exclusive, or if they're just going to be Toylanta and that's it. There are going to be some that are available on BBTS. I think this looks awesome. All right. I think the Forgotten King Glow in the Dark is an awesome looking figure. And I think the Dracula Blood Red, although doesn't seem to make as much. I mean, it makes sense why you would do it blood red, but it doesn't work nearly as good as the Forgotten King. A matter of fact, Dracula sits up there by himself, where the Forgotten King is actually in my Operation Monster Force displays. So, but the purple, I think, looks good. Yeah, purple is a vibe. Again, this is, the Eraser, so he's the Invisible Man. Yeah, I just think this is awesome. Why is he purple? Just because they needed something different, I guess. I wouldn't want full translucent. I think the purple looks awesome. I do. I wanted the purple tactician for the, for the Hiss HasLab. I didn't win. But anyway, so if you're at Toy Atlanta, pick one up for me and send it over. It'd be great. I'd appreciate it. All right. G.I. Joe. Oh my God, I'm moving way too quickly. I'm moving way too quickly. As a matter of fact, I'm moving so quickly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break and give you a, you can hear from our sponsors as I run to the restroom and just take a breather.
Oh, hey guys. So Lawrence, he had to step away for a little bit. He's got a case of the grumble duff. So he asked me to kind of watch over a stream. He put me in charge of y'all. He said to me, "Oh, Moss Man, I have a case of the grumble duff, and I need you to watch myself for a little bit so nobody leaves and finds out that there's more interesting things to watch on YouTube. And also, I hate Ohio." So I was like, oh, dang, so now I have to come up with a topic for my very own show. And I was like, oh, what about talking about your favorite toy stores? So my favorite toy store is HelloDopeToys.com. So they used to have this really bad website. It used to look real scammy. Like if I gave them money, they were going to go spend it on like blow and hookers. But now their website is really nice. And like I can just go in and do like 1-2 click. And then my order's placed. And they ship super fast, guys. They ship everything in one business day. So like I get all my toys first. So when I'm out there on the playground and all my friends are like, oh, dang, Mouse Man, where'd you get that action figure? I still have to wait 17 months for mine. And I'm just like, well, I went to HelloDopeToys.com and I just pushed the buttons and then they shipped it out to me. And the packaging is so nice, guys. Like, I opened up the box and I was like, oh, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this kind of packaging. It's so nice. But then my trash can gets full because of all the packing stuff. And I was just like, oh, dang, I just changed the trash. But now I gotta change the trash again. Oh, you're right, Matthew Matson. You can use the code APWT at HelloDopeToys.com and save 10% on your order. So how that works is, so you're gonna save 10%, and then a Punk with Toys, he has to pay that 10% that y'all save. So if you don't like Lawrence, you can just go to HelloDopeToys.com and just buy a bunch of stuff and rack up his bill. So then like at the end of the month, they're like, Hello Dope Toys is like, oh, Lawrence, you owe us $1 million because of all the 10% codes that everybody used. And yeah, that's how that works. Okay, guys, so it looks like it's time for me to go now. So make sure you go to HelloDopeToys.com and like and subscribe. And then in the comments, put what your favorite toy store is. But if it's not HelloDopeToys.com, I'm probably just going to delete it, okay? So, all right, guys, bye!
All right, there you go. Also, 91 people, 89 people are just switched to. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of people, they're just in the algorithm, and they show up hit that subscribe button, hit that like button too, because it's really what pushes everything out there. And I hope you guys love Mossman. I need a Mossman and Dopey commercial. Ted, are you listening? I've been waiting for another commercial, and it's for you guys. It's for you guys, right? So I need it. Ken Best jumping in here said, did everything come out okay? Everything came out perfectly fine. I did not have a case of the Grumble Duffs. I'm sorry. I also need a Ted. We also need another Mossman commercials because Tony hates them, and because Tony hates them, I want more. A matter of fact, you should probably have one where it makes fun of Tony. Look at this. Look at that. Tony is like the only person that hates Mossman. How do you hate Mossman? No one else hates Mossman. Yeah, Matthew, you tell him you're just a hater. A Joe fan, believe me, I need an 8-minute commercial. I definitely need an 8-minute commercial. And Private Director Destro saying, but it's cozy in the algorithm. Hey, it's so good being in the algorithm. It can still stay cozy. Just make sure you hit it. So anyway, I know everyone's talked about it. The stream was last Tuesday. So I haven't had a chance to talk about it myself. We talked about it on Circle of Jerks on Tuesday, but you know what? We're going to talk some G.I. Joe because you know I love my G.I. Joe. So this was like the worst kept secret. I feel like the G.I. Joe team was just like, you know what? I don't give a shit. J-Con had shown off all this stuff. We might as well let everyone know. So they officially announced that we're getting an armored Cobra Commander. I know, I'm waiting for it. When are we getting hooded Cobra Commander? Never. Actually, I don't know if we're never going to get it, but it's going to be a while. I think armored Cobra Commander is actually really cool. I know a lot of people want him to be, they want a Fred head with it. I'm not sure if I really want to see that. If they do it, great. If they don't, no big deal. Then we're getting Monkey Wrench. We all kind of knew that. Major Blood, who was supposed to come out as the final retro figure of the Walmart exclusive, but they decided to change it. This is not going to be on a retro card. And they have changed the legs. Same boots, so he'll probably still fall over. But they did change the legs. Hopefully they're going to fix that backpack. I hope there's some changes to this because I don't collect for value, but it's also not bad. I also don't hate when I have figures that are more valuable than others. And Shark Guys is saying, you don't know Joe, you're just a mall punk poser. Yeah, you know what? I did forget to ask, what the fuck is a mall punk? I don't know. I know what a mall grab is when it comes to skateboarding. It's when you grab the trucks, but I don't know what a mall punk is. But I was called a mall punk. Anyway, Matthew Madsen says people are confused. These name reveals will not come out this year. They were explicit that the retro green shirt and bat were the last figures of the year. Yes, but Chris McLeod also said that Major Blood is not a retro card, which is weird that that they're doing only 2 and one's an army builder. I really should have dropped my meme in there about Tropic Thunder. Anyway, so the punks that did it for fashion. Oh, well, that is fucking me. Thank you, Chad. Man, Chad just fucking broke. He just broke what I've been doing for fucking almost 40 fucking years. I am punk for fashion. I did not know. Thank you very much, Jeff. Man. Fuck. Did you guys know? That's fucking punk for fashion. Fuck, man. If anything, I fucking follow the fucking crowds. Anyway, back to some G.I. Joe. And then we have Mercer. And Mercer is going to be in a 2-pack with Sergeant Slaughter. I don't know why we need another Sergeant Slaughter. I don't. Maybe they're going to change something. But yeah. There's going to be a 2-pack, and I believe that Sarge said that he's going to be in his desert uniform. I guess Sarge has been talking about this on the circuit, so it wasn't a big secret. Jeff says, I'm very confused. I was talking about SLC Punk and the monologue. Well, listen, it's Chad called me a mall punk. I didn't know what it meant. I guess maybe there is some backstory to it. I don't know what a mall punk is. I've actually never. I mean, I have seen that movie, so maybe I heard it, but I wasn't paying attention to it. That's it. Plastic Battles jumping in here, who will be a future guest also on Thursday with a Friend, saying Mikey Wrench is in the next 4-figure wave. Battle Armor and Blood are in the last 4-figure wave of 2025 that will probably ship early 2026. Okay. Yeah, I would assume all of the. I mean, they're in the process of making them. But yeah, there's only 2 figures in the last retro. Pop Blender jumping in here saying, I hope Sarge comes with a little action figure replica of himself. That would be so awesome. Yeah, SES Dog Bat and Green shirt of the last retro of the year. Still normal retail release coming. Yep. Yeah, I don't think the retro cards are going to get off that. No, you were not, Jeff. It was not you that said it. That's. I mean, you just gave reference to what it maybe what it is. That's it. So anyway, so will Sarge be Warthog driver or Tan Joe-Con exclusive? I don't know. Jeff, I want you to know this. I will never listen. I will never judge somebody by them keeping friends with someone I may not like or that somebody that attacks me. All right, I'm not that person. So you are safe here. You have been cool with me, and that is perfectly fine. All right. So I just want you to know that because I have seen you defend Chad numerous times, and I know that people will jump on you about it. I will never be that person. I mean, I understand why you're doing it, but I'm never going to say anything. Prophet Director says, mall punk definition, a punk who walks the mall in the early hours of the morning to riz old lady mall walkers and attempt to score. Now, if I was called a mall walker punk, that would actually be pretty cool. Because mall walkers were the craziest people in the world. And Yojo Jerk jumping in here. So his show is over. If you're not watching Yojo Jerk in Toy Games before the show, you should be. 8 p.m. they start if you need a little bit more toy fix. Anyway, so we're getting Mercer. I didn't have Mercer or any of the Renegades for that matter. But they're coming. Let's be honest. All the Joes are going to come. All right. So some of the digital renders. This one was pretty much confirmed when they were on a toy kind of mood. And they had the Hasbro team on. Now, when the toy kind of mood had them on, it obviously has to be pre-recorded. And when I was going through and I was changing everything back to public because I had to change a lot of my lives to private due to copyright strikes that people. I came across the thumbnail that I did covering the A Toy Kind of Mood thing, and it was one of my fucking favorite thumbnails because their thumbnail was all of them in the boxes talking to Tony and Lenny that had their names. So I did it because I was doing a reaction to their video, and I just put my picture over all of theirs, and then I put Punk. So I basically took credit for their stream. And Tony, as I was going through, and I was going through changing them all back to public, I forgot that I made that one thumbnail of you for my thumbnail because for some odd reason Travis thought it was funny to use you. Oh, I used to have a lot of fun with that shit. Anyway, back to this figure. Lenny's talked about this. It's like his favorite figure. I think this looks better than the O-ring because it is a more muted blue. It's not as vibrant. They said they're not going to have a big grappling hook that shoots. Thank God. I did hear someone in the Joe community, in the forums, the Facebook groups, a while back saying, "Am I the only one that wants accessories that shoot?" Everyone was like, "Yeah, you're the only one." Gun Bunny says the accessories are straight ass cheeks on this Snake Eyes. I agree and disagree. I actually really like the MP5, but it is reuse. So on this figure, obviously the overlay is completely new. His his thigh holsters, his plate carrier. The swords are the exact same swords that came with the movie Storm Shadow. The MP5 has been used with numerous figures, such as the Crimson Twins. I really like it. I like the suppressor. And obviously the grappling hook is the same one that was used with Arctic Storm Shadow, which is really, I think, Ninja Storm Shadow. Anyway, I really wish they do some new swords. Or even have his classic swords. I don't mind. Like I said, I really like this MP5. I believe it's an MP5, right? Oh, I'm sorry. Johnny Reno. Sorry. MP22. It's really just a toy. So the MP22. Oh. All right. Sorry. Anyway, so there's that. This is something we all knew was going to come, but I think we were all shocked that it came now. I don't think anyone really knew that it was coming when they showed it off. But yeah, so we knew this was coming because they had already, they'd already done the HMS. So here we are getting the MMS with Colonel Hawk. People have already complained that his hair is not blonde enough. For the love of fucking God, you people are fucking annoying. Hi, G.A. Jetman. G.I. Jetman, what's up, Pumpkin Chat? So Hawk doesn't have blonde enough hair. Technically, his load-bearing outfit, actually has a plate carrier, I believe. It's not close enough to being the original. The original didn't have blast effects either. He also didn't have an M16 or the submachine gun, or he also didn't have a helmet with a microphone. I could go on and on about things he didn't fucking have. Anyway, this is the Amazon exclusive. And now I am with everyone that they should at least paint the blast effects properly. All right, I'm with them 100%. Fix the paint. I mean, you're changing it, so just fix the goddamn paint. Or how about just do some new blast effects that you can use? That I will give you, because I will never use these. They work awesome with scrap iron. They work also awesome in bazooka and all those bazookas. Tony, you were asking about the Wolverine that you had 3D printed from Plastic Fantastic. These are the blast effects that go for that. But yeah, this thing looks really good. And it's probably going to be another $75. They have kept the price point where we're hoping that it's going to stay, but who knows. Jamie Garcia jumping in here. Great to have you. Let's see here. JoeFan84 saying, I think you're just jumping in here too, or at least first time I've seen you, right? How about no blast effects or make a kit separate? I don't mind blast effects. They're trying to give you more value. And I really don't mind the ones all around it. But I would say design new ones, only because these were specifically designed to hold a missile for scrap iron and also to work with bazooka. They don't work with this. They just peg in there. They actually have blast effects that came with. They actually have blast effects they can use that came with the Dragonfly. So I don't know why they don't just use it. Yes. The Vamp has a tow hitch, and this is what they've been talking about for quite some time. So yes, you will be able to tow it with the Vamp. So the Vamp will finally have something to tow that's theirs. DJ Mr. McFly, they are definitely going to do a retro carded Hawk more than likely. I guess not definitely. They more than likely will. The fact of the matter is he was never on the retro card. There was somebody in the Joe community, and I'm sorry that I snapped at you. He said, I thought they were going to only make army builders and vehicles, and I told him, because he asked, why are they doing this? And I snapped and I said, fucking Google it first. Seriously, guys, like rather than fill up all of our Facebook feeds, this guy right here is the only one that doesn't have to worry about Facebook feeds getting filled up. Oh, I guess my moderator Eddie, he also doesn't. I was kind of regretting having to buy 3 of these, but it turned out pretty dope. You don't have to buy 3. Dave's Dimension jumping in here, who I was on his show this Friday or last Friday with Dre. Had a blast with you, so this should be $75. So anyway, I went through a lot of comments here. I missed a lot of comments. I think that we might get something like that. They did the polar bear. Now, I don't know if you're going to get all the dogs, because that's a lot. And Quinn didn't have the dog sled, unless if Quinn had his own. Quinn had the machine gun. And they need to do a Quinn. There's no doubt about it. The blind guy was the one that had the dog sled. I think it was Matthew Murdoch, maybe. But anyway, he does have the M16. He doesn't have the other rifle, the laser rifle, and then he comes with Stalker's submachine gun, which actually made me really happy because that's actually what I have him holding downstairs in my O-ring. So I was like, yes, they got it right. But anyway, is that Xander's plate carrier? I think you are correct there, Tony. I have one. I have it right here. Not on Xandar. You are correct, Tony. That is Xandar's plate carrier. You guys spend way too much time looking at these stupid little toys. Anyway, this is coming. We all knew it was going to come. I have already seen this we'd all seen this, but I actually saw. I know someone that has it in hand. Maybe the guy that I got the Flint through. He showed this off. I think it's great that they're doing a Robert Downey Jr. Tropic Thunder figure, so he can be black or white. A lot of people don't want this figure because they say G.I. Joe is special forces. Why do we need troop builders that just regular old figures? And you know what I have to say to that? Don't fucking buy it. Right? Don't fucking buy it. You don't want it? Don't fucking buy it. It's pretty simple, right? Because all it is a base buck with Stalker's load-bearing vest or whatever you want to call it. But the fact of the matter is, these guys were all over the cartoons, and this is what it's supposed to be. You do need support troops no matter what, even special forces, right? So they're going to give you Stalker's gun. Again, I think they should have an M16, but whatever. That's the mold that they're doing right now. And then they have the laser rifle, which again works. And having different face sculpts, again, you buy 4 of these figures, you can have one, one white, one black, with the helmet and the visor down, one without the visor, without the helmet on. They're going to look like different characters. So, Victor says, I want troop builders and female troop builders. Give it time. Let's be honest. They've done a bunch of the female Cobra troopers. They're going to do Joe ones, I'm sure. There's no reason for them not to. And then we get the bat. And I rated the bat as a 10. That first bat is awesome. Still one of the best figures they've ever made. This is just a repaint to look more like the actual O-ring version. They are giving. I'm glad that they made blast effects because we needed the blast effects. They give the clear chest piece, which I hate the black chest piece. I think it looks stupid. It doesn't match. Maybe if it had the Cobra symbol on, it just doesn't match. They're giving you everything that we already got in the other bats. I have 6 bats. It's no Woody numbers, I know, but I will be picking up a couple of these because they just look so damn badass. All right, and you see the stupid stand, throw it away. Baldy, the first bat is still the best bat they did. There's no doubt. And that is one of the most solid figures that you're ever going to find. Hustle says, and I'm the dude playing the dude dressed up like another dude. And Ken Best says, I will forever bitch about the lack of the decal. What are you talking about? The decal on what? On the bat here? The bats didn't have decals on the chest. Or are you talking about the other one? The original one, again, with that black chest piece, it just looked like you were covering something up rather than it being there. That definitely should have had a logo on it. That's the only thing they missed, but I sure the hell wasn't going to complain about it. Yeah, figure 33. It's a long time ago. I got it right before Christmas that year. I was one of the first people to get it from GameStop, I believe. Because there was a bunch of them sent out. Them and the Alley Viper, a bunch of them got sent out. But yeah. So anyway, there is your and we all knew this was coming. They already kind of talked about this. And then I got to go back and talk about the stream really quick. And oh, wait a minute. Ken Best says the O-ring had that mind-blowing. Oh, yeah. Lenticular 3D decal on the chest. Yeah. There was somebody that talked about that. And it might have been on It's Chad when he had the person that, and I don't know if that's who it was. Chad used to have a lot of good guests, and I used to really enjoy his content. So, but he had the designer, or someone had it. It might have been Chad. I don't remember who it was. And they talked about that was the first time they had done it, and it just worked out. It was really, really good. It really worked out, and I think it was cool. So I want to talk about this because I don't really care so much about the figure. They did this stream, and at the end of it, they, I swear to God, I thought they were talking about that sneak peek was coming, but they kept talking about sneak peek, and then they did a skit that Emily had left. I gotta say this: Emily makes it fun. I don't care what anyone says. I know people don't like her. But man, when I saw B-Mac up there before, he is very boring. All right? I'm sorry, very boring. Not saying he's a bad guy, not saying he does a bad job, bad at his job, but he's very boring. Zakina jumping here saying Rumble's over the like button for 100. Oh, thank you very much. We hit over 100. That is awesome. I was just going to keep going on and on until I finally hit 100. Thank you very much, Zakina. Great to have you here. But they look like they're having fun when Emily's on there. And Lenny and Tony, they all have a great chemistry. You don't really see it that much in Marvel Legends. You don't see it in Star Wars. Although the new guy, I believe he's a foreign guy that they hired, younger. He has a lot of. He seemed to have a lot of. Not chemistry, because the guy that he was on had absolutely no chemistry. He looked like he just wanted to get off there. He just had a lot of enjoyment for it. And I'm like, that's what they need right there. But, we see this, and sometimes you don't see the fun. And I think Emily makes it fun for them. But anyway, at the end, they showed off what Zartan was going to look like. We still don't know what the packaging is. I think this is going to be on retro cards. So I think all 4 of these figures are going to be retro carded, which doesn't really make any sense because this thing is numbered. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see, and hopefully we all can get it. But this does look pretty cool. It is exactly what you want from Cold Slither. It's going to be fun. That's what toys are about, man, right? Having fun and just enjoying what you have going on. And I am hopeful that I will be able to get one of these. I'll probably get it for sure. All right. So on to the stuff that they dropped that we had already seen. These are the pre-orders. I got to fill 3 hours, guys. I don't know why I have to fill 3 hours. It's not like I get paid for 3 hours. Not like I get paid for 3 hours. I just fucking got to do 3 hours. So I gotta hope these are in order. So we get the Frag Viper. This is a figure that I've never had. Hold on. I didn't put them in the right order. Okay. Frag Viper, I never had. Although I think, even when I look at him, I think he was actually pretty cool. This was after my time. A lot of fun to watch, or a lot of fun to look at. I like the colors. I think he's probably going to fit pretty well with the Alley Viper. And Lenny really talked about all this. I like the fact that, and I forget what that thing is called. Does anyone remember what the device is that he's able to throw the grenades through? Victor says, I wonder if a Hector Ramirez figure will ever be made, probably con exclusive. If they do it, it should be a con exclusive. So this piece here, it is something that they use. I mean, again, we see people get them for their dogs, that they throw it because they're scared to get their hands dirty with their dog saliva and stuff. Now, I like the fact that they explained why he is a. Is that the name of it? It obviously is, because I don't know how to pronounce that. We'll call it a scoop. It's not the lacrosse stick. But anyway, highlight. All right, I'll go with highlights easier. I like the fact that they explained that he's an android. And it does make sense. He's carrying around this big, all these grenades, but it kind of doesn't matter because everyone's carrying stuff around. They don't really seem to really care, but it is cool that they were, they're trying to make something different. I'll probably pick up 2. I'll probably leave 1 unmasked, but who knows? I may just keep them both masked. Now the gun, these are the same guns that came with Shockwave. Now, anyone that has Shockwave knows that those guns are awful. And the reason why I feel they're awful is they will literally wrap around their legs because they were using the soft plastic. So, I did say Cyborg, didn't I? If I said Android, no, I thought I said Cyborg. Either way, Matthew, I'm not going to argue with you. You're right. You're right. We know it. But I thought I said Cyborg. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Now Ken is saying, I dig the head sculpt that made me buy one at least. See, that's kind of odd because I think a lot of people don't like the head sculpt and they're just like, I'm just going to leave the helmet on. But I do think this looks really good. Photography here, Shooting the Galaxy does a wonderful job. So he makes anything look awesome. And Matthew says, Android is a robot made to look like a man. Cyborg is a human with mechanical parts. Okay. Gareth Widger jumping in here saying, highlight is the sport. The instrument is called a Istral. I did listen. You are throwing in letters and making letters silent. English is already hard enough. So anyway, Kudos Garage says, Danny Davis said in What's on Joe's Mind stream that the weird stuff is going to tie into the Energon. Well, again, this is what I'm saying. I've been saying this for quite some time, and I'm not the only one saying this. It looks like Classified and the Energon universe are going to work together. My problem is they just won't say, hey, Classified is really going to be based after the Energon, or they're going to be using our stuff. Just wish they say it. So then it can kind of put all that to bed, but they just don't seem to want to do that. It's very frustrating. Like, just tell everyone, and then people can be looking for new stuff. This is exactly what you want in a line, right? You want to keep it going. You want to progress it, but now you have a media that's standing behind it that you can use it. So, and Cobra Ninja says that the new head looks straight out of Cyberpunk 2077. I'll take your word for it. I don't play video games, but I will take your word for it. We know that every single company takes design cues from other companies, so it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, it does make sense that you would see something that you think is cool. Now, I like this. I like the shoot that kind of just loads these things. You can see right here all the grenades that are there. So fun figure. I am looking forward to it. I don't like the way the Cyborg. You happy, Matthew? I was going to dock your pay, but then I remembered I don't pay you, so I don't really like it. I like it with the helmet because this just looks strange. It looks like something out of Star Trek. But there you go. There's everything that you're going to get with them. And I'm glad that they make sure that most of these figures have weapons, although I have so many weapons. And Victor says, love the head. And you know what? That is what is so awesome, Victor. Like we can completely disagree and then fist bump and walk on and be happy, right? Like that's what I love. And again, I like the fact that I don't really care for the head sculpt. And I have this mask that I can throw over it, right? And you like the mask, like you like the face sculpt, so you can have the mask to the side. Absolutely awesome. Right? Ken Best says, now all I see is Jean-Luc Picard as the Borg. Pinhead with pins. I see, yeah, or without pins. I see more Pinhead than Locutus of Borg. Because Locutus, you get his whole head. I guess you do with Pinhead too, but I see Pinhead more than I see Jean-Luc Picard or Locutus of Borg. Dark Long. Again, this was after my time. I like the fact that they are trying to advance his lore. Emily made a complete mistake that I could tell Lenny did not want to correct her. when she's like, well, this could be like a troop builder with the other head. And you could tell Lenny wanted to be like, no, this is not a fucking troop builder. I don't care that it has two head sculpts. This is not a troop builder. And Lenny did say that this really harkens back to his love for heavy metal. And so you got this big tongue hanging out. It's, it has a sword that's leading into, I believe, Celtic or wherever they're from. So I think that it's cool. This character is a complete mess. And what I mean by that is when you look at the O-ring, this guy looks like, his mom took him to the Salvation Army and he just had to pick out whatever was there. And he picked out some cool camouflage top with some really, really bad, colorful sweats. And I did want to say hi to Hawk the Basher jumping in here saying, I still need a snow bat. You and many, many, many other people. But yeah, that's I don't know why they just cannot push those out there. So Hawk the Basher said, damn, I bought 35. She said they were true builders. Yeah, I like her. I think she does a wonderful job with them. You can just see the chemistry, but I felt when she said that, Lenny just wanted to be like, no, it's not. But he was way too kind. He's way too nice. But anyway, you got this giant sword. I believe he said this is like a Gatling gun of like grenades. It's just crazy. It's stupid. I absolutely hate it. It doesn't look as bad on the classified because he can actually hold it. The O-ring version, which I do not have, looks. I hate that. I hate the way that gun looks. Now, okay, so like Genghis here. I know I keep saying KJ. People are like, who the fuck is KJ? It's Kevin Johnson. I don't know why I said your name, but it says you could repaint Dark Lawn as Elite Iron Grenadier. You're absolutely, yeah. Now, if you do something like that, yeah. But he's not an army builder. Tiger Force Dark Lawn. Yeah, he is Destro's cousin. So he is a character. He's not a troop builder. So Clinton Jorgensen asking, Punk, I forgot, do you buy 2 of each classified or at least one? I have 1 of every single figure. I do not buy 2 unless if I'm army building or anything like that. I feel there is no, again, I'm not an inbox collector, but why am I going to buy one to keep in the box when I can just fucking stuff it goddamn back in the box if I want to? But if that's what you like to do, you go for it. Anyway, I do like this. I do like the oversized sword. It reminds me of that stupid wrestler that comes out with the sword. I don't watch wrestling anymore, but I think the wrestling fans, you'll probably tell me who it is. But he carries the big Celtic sword, I think, and it's like, why? That's clearly a Vince McMahon thing. Clearly a Vince McMahon thing. Javier Man Cave jumping here. Would have liked an Iron Grenadier color. Well, remember this guy was already created well before this. So they're not creating them, or else I think they probably would have been. Drew McIntyre, thank you very much. Who is a big fucking dude. Oh, hey, look, there's Ryan Sweeney, right on cue to talk about wrestling. Drew McIntyre, yes, guys. So here's everything that he does come with. It comes with. I'm still not a big fan of their revolvers. I don't think they look all that well, but for the most part, a lot of those pistols they just get shoved in the holster, and that's where they stay. He clearly has it's supposed to be like a Gatling gun of like grenades or something. Pretty small grenades. And it looks like it has like an air compressor that's going to be shooting them out. but I do like the swords, and I like the dagger. It fits with it. And I can see why someone would think that this. I mean, the head that's on right there kind of looks like it'd be an army builder. But I do love the fact that they threw a different one on, and I guess he's able to switch out his mask or the mask that he has to wear, where Destro always wears the exact same one. Plastic Battle says at a assembly require last year, Mark Pennington talked about how when they designed this gun, it was inspired by the paintball guns they used around the same time. All right. See, I wanted to say that it looks like a paintball gun with the with the CO2 cartridge. And now that you say that, that makes even more sense that that's what they were kind of going after. And again, I understand why they did it. And this is why I go back to G.I. Joe wasn't always like military based, like some people say. Ted Knight jumping in here saying there can only be one. All right. And there he is, and he's in the very plain box. All right. Footloose. I know when this guy came out, there was a lot of talk about stuff, and people said he looked like Pedro Pascal. And I said, no, he looks exactly like Footloose. To the point where I went and got Footloose, and people said, it doesn't look anything like him. Which I said, you're a fucking moron. I absolutely love the Footloose. All right. I know people are like, oh, we need a Kevin Bacon head. Dude, really? Because his name is Footloose? I love what they did with this. The only thing I wish they would have done is I wish they would have made an M16 with a sling on it, which is a strap if you don't know. And that's just because that gun was very iconic. But they did give him an M16. It does have the scope on it. They gave him the one-shot bazooka. Actually, I don't think they're really doing this as a one-shot bazooka. I don't know how the one-shot bazookas are loaded. If Crow is in here, I know he talked about it with me. So here he is on the hiss, and you can see his helmet there. They talked about how they tried to do it, but they also put some nods on it, which is actually pretty cool. Kind of bringing them a little bit into the modern day. And I know a lot of people hate them when they start mixing and matching stuff. But I think this, and I don't. Was he like a Zen guy? Like I don't. And I know Baldy's gonna be like, he wasn't a Zen guy. I'm a Zen guy. But yeah, so Bong hits from the rocket launcher. But yeah, I know people aren't happy about the knees. Now, I can't speak for everyone, but if I'm running around, I'm probably going to want some support on my knees. And I'm not talking about knee pads. I'm talking about compressions. I didn't even really notice that much, but I know it bothers a lot of people. So, Ken Best says, bugs me that they give him a retro M16, but they give him a modern helmet, an Air Pro, and an NVG mount. Again, it's if you want other weapons, if they went with with an M4, I just wish they would have given him a something with a sling. But I think what you have happening is they're able to reuse this M16 over and over and over, and they're going to use this rocket launcher again, and they have to. That is how these companies do it, and I don't care that it's $1 billion company, and I'm not yelling at you at all. But I think that's exactly what they're doing. PBJ Street Gang. I really like that M16. I wish it didn't have the scope on it, but I really do like it. But yeah, so there's a lot of things that people have nitpicked and complained about. Again, I think you could just complain if people want to. I'm not saying anyone is, although some people are. Greg Archer says the knees are breaking up the camo, but not in the back. I have to look at it. It is weird when they do stuff like this. Like the knees here, I will give you, like the knees here, like if you're going to have this look, they shouldn't be green here. That should all be painted also. But again, I understand the limitations of, I understand the limitations of these figures. And what G.I. Joe's always been weird like that. And he did have a rocket launcher. It just wasn't this big. So, but I actually really do like this figure. I always like the camel figures. There's always been something about the camel figures or military style figures that I was drawn to kind of put them as a team. But yeah. I think he was hiding in a pipe, but he was dead. I mean, I kind of got. Oh, that's the hiss. That's the top of the turn of the hiss. So the turn's been blown out. The hiss is on its side right there. And I'm assuming Dark Lawn is DOA. Blowtorch, or as Viper Scout affectionately refers to him, as he says his code name should be War Crimes. I gotta say I was pleasantly surprised when I actually saw him in hand, more than what I saw when I saw the digital renders. Now, do we really need a blowtorch? Now, I also thought it was kind of funny. Emily, she made comments about, oh, this one will go really good with the firefighters, and then Lenny was like, yeah, one starts the fires and one puts them out. Which I think a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't think blowtorch in the fire. I don't think the firefighters like blowtorch. Tony, ask one of the firefighters next time you see one. Hey, how would you like hanging out with a guy that has a flamethrower torch and everything? But I think this one came out looking better than what I was actually expecting. And I do like the blowtorch. I think it does look good. I like the fact that he's holding the pistol here and he's holding the blowtorch. Like, all right, I'm done burning you. Now I'm just going to put you out of your misery. The flame effects, again, they came with torch. They should have had flame effects when they first did the bat. But they were a little late to it. So now they had to create new ones. So every single bat's going to have some. They should do some sort of accessory kit so I can accessorize all my bats with flames on their flamethrowers. And you can see he has the same style knee pads too. The same thing that was Footloose was rocking. That I know people get absolutely drives them nuts. But I like the way he came out. He's not as bright as the other figures, so that's actually pretty cool. And again, Shooting the Galaxy, once again, there's some wonderful, wonderful artwork, or not artwork, photography. He hits everything the way it's supposed to. Like, it's amazing. And it looks like we have here,
welcome to the creamery.
Woody Triple 2, the Figure Addict, has become a YouTube member. Thank you very much. Now I expect to see you the second Friday of every month on Punk's Pit. But there we go. That is Blowtorch. Better than what I was expecting. I do like the accessories. His head sculpt looks like the original. The flat hair. Yeah. They are the Home Depot knee pads. They are the Home Depot knee pads. And I know you know about that too, Tony. And we have, let's see, Allison, a member for 22 months. Black Genghis, KJ, member for 13 months. And you know what you get with that. You get the...
fucking Phil Collins.
And you both get A.
Fucking Phil Collins.
It actually sounds kind of awful when I say that. Or when, shall I say, Olivia says that. Pop Blender, member for 16 months.
Fucking Phil Collins.
And we have a 3-star draw, a member
Fucking Phil
for
Collins.
11 months. Which I know bothers him because it should be longer. Really 11 months since you changed your when to use the other account. Allison says Phil Collins, what happens when you don't use birth control? I don't think I can see it. See, I can't do it. I tried though. Ryan Sweeney, member for 19 months.
Fucking Phil Collins.
All right. This is what happens when you've been here 2.5 hours. All right. Law and Order. To me, this is the figure. This is their animal companions are always awesome. I think they knocked it out of the park. He's got the microphone that they can remove. I love the shield for Order. Here we got him biting one of the frag vipers. He does have a giant. Johnny, tell me, do they make a holster for an Uzi? But they did here. He has the MP. I mean, this guy looks straight out of the O-ring, which I say I don't always need, but they did it. But I think these colors work. And yes, there are signs of John Cena. I think the John Cena has to do with that little band right there. But we got the handcuffs. These are the same handcuffs that came with who had the handcuffs? Chuckles. And these other ones here, I don't believe they come out. At least not from what I can tell. So
here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Rick Murphy Toy Solution with a $5 super chat saying, thanks for the entertainment. Thank you guys. I have no reason to entertain if I don't have you guys. So I appreciate it, and thank you for the super chat too. So you have the MP Canine on this. And I do like what they did with Order. Like, I like the fact that they really militarized him up. And the whole overlay and everything, the mask. Now, the one thing that was pointed out to me by Bees Battleground is he said that the MP Canine on the sleeve, he wishes that just would have said MP like it used to. And I said to him, I have a nice soft spot for that also, because my dad was a shore patrol for a short bit. So that's SP in the Navy. And it was one, and I wish I still had it. I used to wear that band around when I would go out and play Army, whatever it was, all the time. So I'm with him. I wish it just said MP. Like I said, most people don't even know what shore patrol is. They don't realize that's I don't know if it still is. I don't know if they've changed it, but that was the naval version of their military police. So I have a soft spot for that too. No doubt about it. So
here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money.
Black Genghis jumping in with a $4.99 super chat. Grab yourself a whiskey shot from the convenience store, 50 milliliters or less. Well, I don't drink, so I'll grab a couple Mountain Dews. Also, I want to point this out. So Turk Murphy donated sent a $5 super chat, and Black Genghis gave it $4.99. Now, it has nothing to do with how much they gave. I just want to say, it was pointed out to me that if someone sends a $4.99, it means they're using an iPad, an iPhone, and if it's a $5, I believe it's on a it's on an Android or it's on or on your computer, which I just find comical. Like, really, they can't even fix that. Like, they can't even get that. Like, the fact that one has to be so fucking different than the others. I just, when someone pointed that, I went, that's pretty damn funny. And we have Jamie Bonson jumping in here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Law Hispanic in the Sunbow movie? I don't know, but I will also say, but I will also tell you that these figures are not, they're not based off the Sunbow. They are based off whatever was created either in the comic or through the actual, through Hasbro. The cartoon was always something to sell the toys, but I do believe somebody else had said that before. And yeah, here's Greg Archer saying he sure was Hispanic. I don't remember having red hair. Yeah, someone else was complaining about that. But yeah, remember most of these figures are not based off of the cartoon, especially not their first versions. Maybe they go back and do them. But most of these things are based off of most of them are based off of the actual Hasbro design. And then you can kind of go back and you go to the comic. And then finally they kind of hit the cartoon. And Viper Scout says Law was modeled after Kirk Bazigian. But either way, I think this looks awesome. One of the cool things here is we went back to the hand gestures. Now, I did a short a while back. I know, short joke, insert here, with Mutt in Junkyard. Because if I remember correctly, it was actually Shark Eyes, who I thought I just saw pop up here. I think it was Shark Eyes, who he does work with dogs, and he said these are actual dog commands. So I did a short showing the different commands. Now the difference is Mutt has gloves on, which means they had to completely mold new hands to do this, which I think is actually pretty cool. But again, I like everything about this figure. The handcuffs are what they are. Good luck getting them behind the back. I don't know if the other handcuffs come out. I don't think they do. But the microphone comes off, so he can kind of pull that off, I believe is what they said. So either way, good looking figure. This is one that I know some people have been waiting for it. Shark Guy says, correct, they certainly are. Were you the one that sent me the hand gesture? I think it was you, because I remember I did a whole short on it showing exactly what they were. I wish shorts did better. Anyway, here's the box. Am I wrong to say I need this figure now? I really like this figure. And we have the Cobra divers. Now, what can I say about this? It sold out very quickly on Pulse. That shocked me. And then it was up on Target. And remember, this is a Target exclusive. Then it eventually sold out on Target. Now, this shocks me that it sold out, because I have to say that when these were shown off, oh my gosh, people said, these are stupid, these are peg warmers, and they may eventually go and mark down, because when Target gets stuff, unlike Walmart, you'll actually see it there. They'll actually have it in stock. I don't believe any Walmart exclusives will ever be in stock other than when they had Retro Destro, Gung Ho, and Lady J and Baroness. These are the only Walmart exclusives that have ever been in a physical store. I know someone's going to say the other ones were marked down, but these things sold out. And then people were bitching about it. I'm like, you guys all said you hated it. It's just two divers. We already have divers, and then catcher and mustard and ketchup. So anyway, we have the red Cobra divers and the yellow Joe divers. They're the same figures. They're Torpedo and the eels, but they do look good. And if you are into your water-based troops, if you're able to figure out how to do a nice water design, These are awesome. I mean, these are exactly what you want for your display. I mean, I did order a set. Actually, I have 2 sets on order, but I probably only keep one because I don't need to army build these. But again, with different face colors and also getting rid of all these Valiverse stuff, I have extra room that won't last. We have Quip jumping in here saying, "You're all right." I don't know what that means. Ed says, will they do an articulated sea worm? That is a damn good question, but I think I have some stuff at the end that we're going to quickly look at because they're showing the pipes in the back there, right? So we do have the laser rifles here. Then we have Gung Ho's rifle. So here's everything that he comes with, what they come with. Yes, the XR-LM. I think stuff that is based in the cartoon, they should have it. They have is this an MP5 or what kind of MP is this, Johnny? I don't want to get it wrong. And then you never want to send me any O-ring stuff again. I like this weapon. It comes with torpedo. They both come with it. And now why? Why could you not just give the laser rifle? Why could you not just give the laser rifle or the laser submachine gun that Cobra had? Okay. No, you had to give us Gung Ho's rifle, the original Gung Ho's rifle, and the original Duke's rifle. I don't need those. No one's ever going to use them. They're going to go in a bag or in a bin. They're never going to be used. And eventually I'll get more because Tony will probably send me some. And Quip is saying, just a friendly way of saying hello. Okay. And the only reason I say that is because you never know when a troll is going to come in. OLU says, you think they'll do a retro blowtorch? Probably down the road, but not for a while. So anyway, here's everything that you're going to get with this. A lot of stuff. And again, if you buy 2 packs, then you have mix and match of all kinds of stuff. But we already got a bunch of divers. I don't know if I need 2 more sets. One, I think is going to be suffice for me. Now we get to the Snake battle suit. I want to just start off by saying I've never been happier to be wrong than what I was. I thought for sure this was going to be $100. When Emily said that we did not put a figure in this so we could keep costs down, I went, oh my God, this thing is a fucking $100 because they're trying to keep the cost down. When it came in at $75, I was absolutely blown away. What I was not blown away by was the people that whined and cried that it fucking sold out. Now, this thing did not sell out in 20 minutes. It did not sell out in a half hour. It was up for what? 5, 6, 7 hours. Everyone had a chance to order multiple ones if they wanted to. So if you missed out on it, I'm sorry. They'll probably have more, or maybe they won't. Let's be honest. There's going to be a blue one eventually. With all that said, I'm not a huge mech guy, but I think they did a really good job on this. All right. I think they did a really good job on this. They modernized it. And I said before, this looks like they took the regular O-ring snake and put it in a bigger mech suit. But they kept the idea of what the original was, and they made it seem more capable. That a figure is actually going to sit in it rather than house it and move it around himself. KJ, you do not need to. You do not need to. You are out. Get one. Right? There's other things, so get that. PJ said they did a great job making it, but a shit job selling it. You're talking about this? Because I don't think they had any problem selling this. The design in it is really nice. They put a lot of work into it. Once again, Cobra is all OSHA. You know, they have their seat belts. Now, one of the greatest things about this is you don't have to waste a figure inside of it because you really can't see inside of it. But if you're going to be doing pictures, I mean, look at all the designs in it. They have 2 different working handles. All the heads-up display. I think it's tuned into like Cobra radio or something. But yeah. Quip says, from what I've heard, Hasbro didn't specifically say these would be available on the same day as the stream. I'm not saying that justifies the degree of belly aching, but it's a fair point. They really didn't say what was going up. I'll be 100% honest. I was surprised that everything went up for order on the same day. That really did surprise me. But I think we all knew that there was a stream. It wasn't, you know, a secret. It wasn't like it was, you know, like you had to search for it. I mean, they promoted it pretty well. How they promoted over a month before because they canceled the other one. But not, again, it would be nice if they just let people know. I've talked about this before. There's no reason why you shouldn't give the prices ahead of time. But with this here, at least you, again, just pre-order it, right? And then if you decide you can't afford it or you don't want it later on, then you just cancel it because you don't get charged. But you do have a window here, so you can see a trooper in here. I do have to say is, where's the light coming from? Not shooting the galaxy. Where's the light coming from? How did you make that work? The step up. I love the steps up here to get into it. They made it look functional. And this is just the stuff. Again, I've heard when I listen to Jersey Maniac and I actually hear Jersey Maniac say something that isn't completely negative, that tells you that they actually put design into it. Lenny and the G.I. Joe team, and again, I guess this is where fucking people will say I'm a fucking shill. Lenny and the G.I. Joe team, they put so much thought into what they're doing. Now, it doesn't always translate the greatest, all right? But they put so much thought into these little things that the shills, like myself, will give them credit and other people will bash them when something doesn't turn out right, which is par for the course. That's what people do, right? But just putting stuff in like that, having these rungs so you can climb up into it. They did it with the hiss, right? The ladder that comes down that Matthew can't get his ladder to come out without fear of it breaking. Putting the jet back on the back here. Now, I'm assuming this is not meant to make it fly, but more maybe to spring, kind of just shoot over. You have the jet fuel. I wasn't expecting that, so. And then blowtorches effects. Blowtorches effects are just going to be used all over the place. But I'm happy with this, man. And again, I'm not a mech guy, but it does look like an O-ring one was dropped in there. I think what is really cool about this, for someone that is a 4-inch or 3.75-inch collector, this is something that you can use for them, because once it's closed up, you can't even see. This can be used for your 1/18 scale, and it's going to fit in. Also, what it has to do, in all honesty, is 3D print a seat so you can put a 4-inch figure in it. Just says, jump packs, classic mech stuff. I'm going to absolutely believe you on that because, like I said, I'm not a mech guy. But to me, this is very classic coming from, G.I. Joe design. So here's 3 of them. Matthew, didn't you get 3? Did you get 3 or 2? I don't know if there's any Easter eggs in this. And I really meant to, I actually meant to blow up some of the stuff here. Here's the back of it, showing the kind of the jet jump pack, which I believe comes off too. And let me show how all this thing comes apart. Only two. I kind of wish I would have ordered a second one. But listen, by the time this thing hits, my shelves are going to be filled again. They're going to be filled again. Quip says, I'm really hoping Ramen Toy does some add-on upgrade kits for the snake. Ace has hinted he's considered it. Really? I'm sure we will see Gridiron do a whole bunch. That's what they tend to do for sure. All right. So I actually meant to blow up some of these, but this is big enough. So we always get some sort of Easter eggs. That is the one thing that I absolutely love when they went to plastic-free packaging. They were throwing Easter eggs. Now they tend to put it on the back if possible. I think we're going to get some sort of tube worms eventually. I'm not saying I want it, but I think eventually we're going to get something like that. Action figure addict, Woody might have one to spare. And he says, nope. I'm going to tell you what kind of guy, this is the type of guy Woody is. I think he bought 7 of them. Woody will message me. He texts me because Woody's not on social media. Texts me and he says, hey, are you going to send me over some of your links so I can help you out, right? Go through Amazon or whatever. You ordered 20. Okay, so goddamn 20. So he messaged me and says, I really wish I could help you. Or I really wish you had a code for Hasbro Paul so I could help you with these mechs. Which to me just means the world. Like, dude, if you see Woody at a con, I'm just gonna say this right now. Woody doesn't pay. All right? If you have the money, Woody's sitting down to eat. You guys are sitting down at a table. Woody doesn't fucking pay. I'm just saying that right now. All right? Woody, you're here. I want you to hear that, man. All right? You have been so generous in so many ways. And I'm just going to go back to the streamathon that I did. I would never tell anyone how much you donated, but you were so generous that, dude, it meant the world to me. I know it meant the world to just Jeff. He's talked about it. So anyone, if you're at a con with Woody and you guys are sitting down to fucking eat, when that bill comes, you better put your fucking hand on it and pay it. All right? Just saying. And I wouldn't say that for everyone. All right? I will say that if I'm sitting down with you, you should pay for me. No, yes. And Turk, you too, man. I know I'm talking about shit that was a few months ago. You were very generous with the streamathon too. All for Toys for Tots. So yeah. Anyway. So here we have Dark Lawn. And there are no Easter eggs in this. Just some Iron Grenadiers and Iron Grenadier bats. So yeah, pretty much, yeah. Woody eats free, Punk pays double. For this one, yeah. More than likely, Woody would be like my old friend who he'd say, hey, can you cover me for lunch? I'll get you back. And then he'd order like $30 worth of fast food. And you're like, what the fuck, dude? I thought you meant like $5. Yeah, Woody, you know what? Fuck it. You're going to get that right now. Where is it at? Woody loves the fart noise. There's someone that I think said they hated the fart noise. That was not Woody's wife. Anyway, no real Easter eggs here. Blowtorch here. Now, I just think this is a drawing of a... Because when you look at this bridge layer, or as it's called, a toss and cross, this bridge layer doesn't have the guns on it. It doesn't even look like it has the front piece to it. It looks like they kind of just threw it in there. probably a big fuck you to Ace. For Ace doing one. Because, you know, no, Woody's not going to Joe Fest, so I can easily say it. Woody's not going to Joe Fest. He's going to DFW this year. So I can throw it out this year and then have to worry about coming up with the money next year. But are they willing to do a bridge layer? I don't think a bridge layer is. I don't think a bridge layer is needed. All right. Let's just say that I don't think a bridge layer is fucking needed. Not for classified. I know that Ramen is doing it, but he's only doing it because he was able to modify it into his tanks. The Frag Viper, I didn't see anything in here. Didn't see any type of Easter egg here. Now, yes, this is where we got to see a Mobat. Or not a Mobat, the Mauler. An A1, and now, again, this doesn't look like the Mauler. It looks like an A1 Abrams, which is what the Mauler was based after. You have one that's flipped over, and then you have another one. There was somebody that did tell me that there was supposed to be a whole desert theme. Now, we haven't seen a desert theme, but there is a reason why there was a desert snake eyes. Now, there was talk about there being a HasLab Mauler. Now, what's really weird is that, and I'm going to give him credit, it's Chad, because he gets really mad if you don't give him credit. First, he tells me there's not going to be a HasLab. Then he tells me that it's going to be one of these things. So I don't really know what it fucking is. But Chad needs the credit because he will go around Instagram and on every social media and fucking tell you, hey, I've been talking about this. So I'm giving him credit. I don't know how they would do this, how they justify. You said it, Jeff. You said it, Jeff, not me. I don't know how you're going to justify a HasLab A1 Abrams, which is a Mauler, when Ace did one, and believe me, I saw it at Joe Fest, and it is nice for $200. So you're going to have to put some electronics in it. You're going to have to give us 4 figures. No fucking patches. I don't need fucking patches. No fucking patches. You hear me, guys? Team, I never need fucking patches. All right? But I would say, for me, I want the whale as the HasLab. After that, if you said, hey, you don't get a whale, I'd probably want a Mauler. So, oh, well, he put it's in front of it, so. All right, Law and Order here. Now, I'm sorry. Maybe somebody can fill this in. People started saying, is that a Tiger Force beachhead? I thought it just looked like it was Cobra Island beachhead in the back. Now, am I completely incorrect here? But it looks like that is just the Cobra Island beachhead. So maybe I'm just completely... no one really knows if there's going to be a HasLab this year. I don't see why there wouldn't be, unless if they're saying, unless if they're like, we don't really want to charge someone another $300 or $400 when they haven't got the other one. It's never stopped them before, so I don't know why it would be now. So Matthew says it's a custom from CI Beachhead parts. All right, so it is Cobra Island Beachhead. And again, it might just be the color, the camera angle. I don't know. The color, I don't know. Darren, I'm sorry, it's never going to be a hydrofoil. It's never going to be a hydrofoil. It's not iconic enough. But And there we go. And I have 5 minutes to talk about the topic. I just want to say to everyone, please, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. I don't pay for subscribers, so please hit the subscribe button because I like to organically get subscribers. And hit that like button. We're well over 100. What is our topic? Let's see. Our poll is at 175, but our likes are at, let's see here. What are our likes at? 112. Again, I don't understand that. But it is nice to know there's been 175 people that have strolled through this. Mostly. Maybe there's some people that have dual accounts. I don't know why you'd have 2 accounts watching me. But anyway. Yes, please hit that subscribe button. Again, the red Sonja figure has done wonders for me. So proud of that thing. It's not often that I have a video do that well that isn't G.I. Joe or military-based G.I. Joe based. Anyway. Shark Guy says, what do you mean you don't buy subs, Lawrence? I am shocked. You are absolutely, I know, it's crazy. But I don't buy them. I don't pay for. There's lots of ways to do it. We found out that if you're part of a big an email networking group, you can push it out, and you'll jump up like 400 or 500 during a stream. So again, it's one of those things. I don't understand the buying of subs or the buying of views, not for what we do. That's a whole nother topic. I think I've already discussed this before. Anyway, whew. Let me take a drink. Begging for subs work? I'm going to say no. Begging for subs is essentially, is almost the same as when somebody says, hey, I have a YouTube channel. I'll sub to yours if you sub to mine. All right, well, first off, fuck you. I only sub to channels of either I really like the person or, but more than anything, does your YouTube content give me some sort of value that I'm going to value? There are a lot of people that will subscribe to me on Instagram, and I'll go and look and see what they're doing. If what they're doing is, let's say, all sports related, but nothing, with something I care about, there's no reason for me to look at it. If I go and look and it's all turtle stuff and Ghostbuster stuff, sorry, Jeff, I'm not going to subscribe to it because I'm not interested in that. Just like, let's say I look and I see someone has a fucking skateboarding and I'm like, fuck, I want to watch this. Boom. I'm going to click on theirs. I'm going to click on theirs. I'm going to follow them. And they look at mine and they're like, well, this is fucking toys. I don't give a shit about. I'm not going to be offended by it. That's just how it is. Begging for subs will make people not want to subscribe. Do you know how I know? Because when I watch people do it, I'm like, fuck you. Like, just do the work. Now, mentioning, hey, if you like this video, because people forget, it's just not on their radar. People forget. So just when you mention it, say, hey, by the way, you're here. If you like this content, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out. Hit that like button. That's different. You're not really begging. You're mentioning it. That works. When you don't, if you do videos and you don't ask for it, God, that sounds awful. If you do videos and you don't ask for it, people will not do it. And it's not like out of some sort of negativity. They just forget about it. Especially if they're watching it on a TV. They don't see it nearly as easy. Or it's harder to do it. Sometimes you got to pull up on their phone and do it. But when you ask, people will subscribe. So, but begging, yeah, And again, I don't consider what I did begging. I'm just kind of mentioning. We've seen people beg, and again, I'm one of those people, and maybe I'm one of those guys that's a little different. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I don't. Maybe they think I'm begging. I'm closing in at 7,000 subs. I think I'm doing fairly good without begging for it by just creating content that people enjoy. Why you guys fucking enjoy it, I don't know. Yeah, I've been asking myself that for the past 3 years as the channel has grown. I appreciate it, and I appreciate every single one of you guys being here because, once again, this show is nothing without all of you. All right, but let's get to the topic really quick. And I want to ask, is collecting still fun for you? Now, when I look at the poll here, there's 91% of the people saying yes. 1% said no, there's nothing original. And 8% says no, the community has ruined it. And I'm not going to say that the community has ruined it for me at all, but I can see why that would be something very true. If I told you how much I don't fucking say that I want to say, you would be shocked. I understand that I am up here, and I make no bones about it. I am actively trying to grow a channel. I am actively trying to become a bigger channel. And I think there's nothing wrong with it. One of the first things that I had asked Matthew when I started, hey, is it wrong for me to say that in a year from now, I don't want to be talking to 12 people doing live streams? And his answer was absolutely not. All right. So I make no bones about it. I have to kind of watch what I say. But man, I go into the G.I. Joe Facebook pages, and I have to use G.I. Joe as the barometer because that's the majority of the ones that I'm in. And I have to keep my mouth shut on things I want to say. Like I said, last week, when someone said something about the Hawk and the MMS, saying, and he said, I thought all the vehicles were going to have army builders. Why are they doing this? And people were very polite, trying to say this is how it was. And I said, use fucking Google. Because I don't have a problem with people asking questions. I do have a problem with people not doing a little bit of research on their own to figure out. And then if you can't figure out why, then you ask the question. I go back to when somebody asked about drop-down hips, and they had a picture of they took a picture of the Valaverse, and they took a picture of the classified, what the drop-down hips were. That is an honest question, because you're not just going to Google drop-down hips. Shit, I can only imagine if you Google drop-down hips, probably what's going to pop up. Probably nothing to do with toys. All right? But I do believe that a lot of people, and I read the comments, all right? I do hear the comments, right? What people have to say. Someone recently just commented on the one video that I told you to go watch at the beginning, right? About the copyright strikes, and said, wow, there's more fucking drama in this than in politics. And he's not wrong, because there's even more coming all the time, right? And that pushes people out. That drives people to not want to watch. And when you're trying to have fun, sometimes it just drives people away. The other thing that I don't understand, and people have mentioned it, is they're upset about how classified does things. And I'm using classified because that is what I'm not going to say. I mean, it is the majority of what I buy. I would say it's probably 50%, right? No, you know what? Not even 50% anymore. There's just a lot of G.I. Joe. It's my main line, I guess you could say. But clearly, as I'm looking around, I do a lot of other things. Martin here says, not safe for work, drop down hips. Exactly. That's why I said, if you Google it. 3-star says, Punk gets maximum over dumb questions. I do. I do. And I'm not saying I've never asked a dumb question, but I'm going to just say this. Those people that say there are no such things as dumb questions are dumb fucking people. All right? When your teacher said There are no dumb questions. What they were saying is, man, you people are fucking dumb. And you got to ask, it goes back to that old adage, it's like, if you don't know who that person is in your office, it's probably you. So I'm seeing more and more people that are mad over G.I. Joe, how the classified stuff is done. I go back to, this is the reason why I will say that I say 50%. And again, I'm throwing out a number. So please, I don't want to hear like, how did you come up with 50%? I'm just kind of reading the room. Probably 50% of the G.I. Joe classified collectors are G.I. Joe collectors from the 80s. They're not toy collectors. And there's nothing wrong with that other than most of them don't seem to learn about toy collecting and understand that $100 for a figure is not crazy. $55 for a Super 7, they think it's crazy, but they think it's crazy because it's $55, not because it's a piece of shit made of bad plastic with no articulation, and half the time it's awful. Ryan says, it's not a dumb question, but a dumb person asking a question. Yes. And you know what? Just because I haven't got to hear Ryan's wonderful voice in a long time.
We're talking about freaking toys here. They're toys.
And down to 17, Steve jumping in here saying, collecting is still fun. Ignore the haters. There are some annoying things out there. Yes. I don't love how Hasbro announces 50 new figures per year. Exaggerating, I know. And you know what? There are people that are mad that they don't announce more figures. That's what's even crazier, right? There are people that are pissed that they still haven't done the original, the OG 13, which is technically the OG 14. But I hear people mad because they're like, oh, all this stuff, I'm done, I'm out, I'm wait. Like, well, you ordered on a Hasbro Pulse. You didn't pay for it. You don't get paid you don't get charged until they're ready to ship. And normally, I'm not going to say always, normally they notify you. Or if it's not a Pulse exclusive, you can head on over to BBTS. They don't charge you at all. And if they are going to charge you something, which is only on like Mezco's or on bigger price items, they're going to charge you a small bit. Now, let's say you go to Hella Dope Toys, you go to Big Nerdy, Nerdzoic. Those places normally will charge you right away. Now, Hella Dope Toys offers 10%, I believe, or you can pay all up front. If you go to the CMD store and you pre-order stuff, you pay for it all up front, and you cannot cancel there. Like, they do not let you cancel. So I know a lot of people haven't been having fun that way. Now, for me, I still have a lot of fun doing this. Now, there's some things I don't like. I think you've already heard me say there's some things that I don't like. There are some people that I don't like. And yet and a lot of these people seem like they're not having fun, and they're determined to make others have the same experience. Like, they're so upset they want to make things worse for them. And I do think it's happening. You see it in different communities, and there's a lot of different communities. I have heard people say, go in the Star Wars community. You will hear how much people are just pissed. And again, I never wanted to be a Joe channel, or else I wouldn't drop a Red Sonja, right? Wouldn't drop all these Marvel Legends if I was just trying to focus on being a Joe channel. But I'm also self-aware that I know that most people are here because they want to talk Joe. They want to hear my opinion on Joe. I'm no expert. I just buy a lot of G.I. Joe stuff, and I like to talk about it. Matthew will tell you, it blows me away that you don't know all these O-rings. Well, you're fucking damn right I don't, because you know what? I hit a certain age, and I stopped fucking buying new toys, and I started buying skateboards. I can tell you about skateboarding back then. And Quip here says, yeah, no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans, right, Allison? And I feel like I that's kind of how I feel about G.I. Joe right now. Where, I mean, we've heard people saying the line is dead. I mean, this has been Viper Island saying the line is dead. All these people are out of the line. They have waited too long. Right. This is one of the narratives that he has championed because once again, negativity sells. So now people want to go watch. Now there's nothing based on that. Hasbro's never said anything. There's also one guy. I forget what. I don't know him as a person. He has an Instagram channel, and I think he also has a website. And he said at Toy Fair, he got a phone call that Hasbro is out making toys. And everyone said, they never said that. No, people are reporting this. And everyone's like, who else is reporting this but you? Other people are. No, who? Look around. Other people. No, you made that up. And they said, who's your source? And they said, well, they don't want me to say. No, you said they called you. No, don't give us this bullshit. There's no one else reporting this. Why? Because it's not true. That is not what Hasbro said. What people did was they took a snippet and they take things out of context. And they do it on purpose. And again, election time. Listen to just listen to those commercials. Shit is fucking taken out of context on purpose because they know the majority of the sheep in this world will not look into exactly what was said. 610 Daddy says, question Punk, who was it the Valaverse guy got into it with it Joe Fest 23, the guy with the not my action force shit. I was trying to look it up and it seems like it all okay, so that was Cousin Kenny from the Toy Depot. That video is no longer up because Bobby Valla put a cease and desist on it. So his lawyers instructed him that he needed to remove that video. So that video does still exist. I saw the video, but there was a cease and desist put up against it. And that is the reason why you can't find it. So you might as well they stop looking for it because you're never going to find it. This was told to us directly. But yeah, that was it does exist though, because I saw it. And I know exactly what you're talking about. But that was Cousin Kenny from the Toy Depot, I believe in Ohio is where he's from. But yeah, there was a cease and desist from Bobby Valla, Valaverse, whatever, that he had to take it down. So, true story, guys. Can't make this shit up. I mean, you could, but Matthew said, a matter of fact, Matthew said, and I didn't do it. You need to screen record that before it's taken down. And God damn it, I wish I would have fucking screen recorded it because it does exist. Look, see action figs. Ed, I seen the video. Yeah, I should have screen recorded it. So stuff like that has burned people out. I think more people have burnt out of Valaverse because of the attitude that comes out of there. I know. Again, I'm selling all my stuff. I sold over half my stuff this past week. They still make wonderful figures. I know some of the figures, had a few issues at the beginning, being maybe a little too stiff. That's action figure collecting, right? That doesn't bother me. And his figures got better and better and better. So you won't hear me criticize his stuff. And again, I don't review it anymore. I won't be doing it anymore. Yeah, you want to see Roman? There he is. He's like, look at those beautiful little eyes. Look at those beautiful eyes. Everyone loves you, buddy. Now go back in your sit down. All right. Now I gotta ignore him, so he'll just like go back because he's like, oh no, look, here I am. But it's weird because I really thought, and again, I know that this is a toy tubing channel here. This is a live stream about toys. So I know you guys are still collecting, but I thought that when I put the poll up, I did think that it would be over 90% that are still saying that it's fun. Because I hear people say that it's no longer fun anymore. And I'm glad that I'm wrong about that. Because like Quip said, no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. You look at the Marvel Legends guys; they are the same thing. You hear them completely ragging on it. I think some people, they're negative because the negative is what sells. And don't get me wrong. I mean, you saying, "Is this figure worth it?" You put that in a video, it makes people want to watch it. I wouldn't call it clickbaiting as long as you're paying off at the end, right? Whatever you put in there, that type of stuff is going to sell. When I've had a broken figure and you post it, you know who used to do this? Who did this for a little bit? Travis fucking Moody. He did it for a while. He would put it in his video. There's a couple videos that he did that he kind of led people on that it wasn't that good, and it was in the title, in the thumbnail, and he did it a few times, and it works. Ryan, thank you for joining. It's always great to have you on. It's been a long time. We got to catch up. I haven't talked to you in a while. So, all of you, now the loudest people don't represent the majority. And I think, and I've mentioned this before. Now, and I'm going to use Bobby Valla because he does this. Because he's the most vocal of all the toy manufacturers, right? He's the one that is in the community, or he has a close-knit YouTube community, social media community that would do this. But he gets mad when people post when one of his products are broken. What is the purpose of it? What does it do? Well, people are posting it to see if there are other people that are having the problem. Now, I do not agree when people post that something broke, and I'm going to say this on Valaverse, and they're like, what fucking shit product this is, and they haven't even gone through the means to contact Valaverse or let's say BBTS, if that's where they got it from, and say, hey, this broke on me, what can you do about it? I still think that it should be posted and still be talked about, right? Now, what you see when something happens with Hasbro, obviously they don't have their people out there, but let's say when the females are having arm problems. Now we're talking about G.I. Joe. When you think about how many figures were produced, I never had an issue with my Zorana, but other people did. And I would be an idiot to say that, well, if I didn't have a problem, no one else did. Because my cover girl, her arm was fucking off in the box. And then we saw a lot of people had cover girl issues, but a lot of people didn't. But most people don't post when something is good, right? Social media, Facebook. How many times have I heard, you're such a good dad? Why am I a good dad? Because you take care of your kids. Well, how does that make me a good dad? Well, you know what? Most single dads, like divorcing, they don't see their kids. No, fuck you. Most of us do. The problem is the ones that don't, the mothers are fucking blasting it all over. So you think that every single father is a deadbeat. And when you see that one isn't, you're like, oh, you do such a good job. I'm not doing a fucking good job. I'm fucking being a parent. And it's most of us are, right? So I'm with you. You hear the things that are negative, and that's what draws in. You don't hear people. If there was some, like, let's be honest, if one or two people started having flaking on this vac metal, they would post it, right? Let's say 10 of these go out. You see 10 fucking different pictures of this thing fucking flaking. Now, mind you, the amount of these things that have been sold would be mind-blowing. All right? I've talked about it before. When it comes to Hasbro and G.I. Joe, stuff like that, there's so many made. My guess is if you took Valaverse, who is the next biggest military 6-inch line going right now, I'm willing to bet that there's like 28,000 HISS drivers, HISS tacticians, and HISS gunners, right? That was the HasLab, about 28,000. I'm willing to bet that is more than any one figure that he has produced, because it's a small company. So, when you start to see something with G.I. Joe and someone shows something off, let's say this thing was flaking, you get 10, everyone's going to say, oh my God, every single one is flaking. Well, if you only have 10 of those out of 100,000, that's not really bad, but you have a very vocal minority. But even going back to Valaverse, we're seeing on his Vanguard the axle snapping. Now, I reviewed the Vanguard. I don't own it. That was Greg's. But looking at it, and from what I remember, I don't know how you fix that without replacing the whole vehicle. It's not just like something he can send out, where he's done that with a hip replacement on the Scarabs, right? And again, absolutely nothing wrong with that, especially coming from a small company. He sent out the hip replacement, or he said, you can send it back, I'll fix it for you and send it back. Right? So I have no problem with that. But stuff like that, when you start seeing that, you wonder, well, how many of these things have actually broke? Because there's a good amount, and I know he didn't, again, it's not even close to the Vamp, and definitely nowhere close to the Stinger. So many. Just Jeff says, just in general, if you buy X and you get a great figure, and when you buy X again and it's dog poo, I think the compare and contrast is important. Oh, I agree with you. But I'm just saying, I think Matthew says, I think there are a few products that are over 30K. Well, you would have to think that all the G.I. Joe stuff there's been, except for maybe the early ones, maybe the first few waves, but they got to be producing way more than 30K. If you sold 28,000, his HasLabs, and again, I'm not saying that 28,000 people bought it. I'm saying there was 28,000 sold. It's hard to say that they're not producing more than 30,000 of each figure. But no, I'm with you, Jeff. And again, I don't have a problem with people posting when something bad is happening, because I think you need to look for it. All right. I think you really need to look for it. But there are some companies that you don't see that, right? There are a lot of companies that you don't see problems with. Not saying they don't have any problems, but Mythic Legions or Four Horsemen, there aren't a lot of problems. There are some. So before anyone starts going, oh, I understand there have been some, but for the most part, they get this stuff kind of taken care of. Hasbro is producing so many that you're going to see more. There's no doubt about it. So the question is how many are there? And when people see that, they automatically start tuning out, saying that, they're done with toy collecting. I also see a lot of people that, once again, Joe community, they think they're being priced out. They're producing this many figures at this price. I can't afford it. It's a hobby. It's an expensive hobby. And during the pandemic, you had extra money. You saw G.I. Joe figures that you had as a kid on the shelves, and then you got into it. You never went further. You didn't start collecting Marvel Legends. And then you didn't get into the Mezcos and the more expensive stuff. So you look at $25 and you think that it's expensive. And then you're pissed that they're putting out, as Steve said, 50 figures a year. Steve, I know you said I think you said you were being hyperbole. They put out more than 50 figures a year. I think they put out 65 last year. I had it written down at one time. Big truth, you hardly see someone shitting on a Mofex figure. No, and again, lower quantity, probably better. Again, more expensive. Hopefully you have a better QC department that is checking these. So, G.I. Jetman said, "My sisters don't understand why I collect, but it's fun for, and I don't care. I pay my bills. Why should I have fun? So my sisters are in their 60s and don't visit me." So, do you collect so your sisters don't visit you, or do you collect because it's fun? Or do you collect because it's fun and one of the perks is also that your sisters don't come visit you? I've said it before. If you pay your bills, you feed your family, you put a roof over their head, food on the table, and you're not doing anything wrong, who cares? No, Steve, yeah, no, I had it all written down because when I went through my top 10, I counted them all. This year was actually lighter than the year before. It was lighter than the year before. Matthew, how many? You probably know. Matthew, come on, you got it written down. I know you do. Yeah, and think about it. That doesn't even scratch the surface of how many Marvel Legends get put out, how many Star Wars Black Series get put out, right? It doesn't even scratch the surface. But when you look at what G.I. Joe's done, so there's a lot of people that are unhappy about it because I don't think they really understand collecting. People can go into skateboarding and be like, I mean, I've talked to people and they're like, "You spend that much money on skateboarding?" And I'm like, dude. And again, you can buy a skateboard, you can buy a deck for $80. Go out, ride it for 2 hours, and the thing snaps. Well, you don't get to take it back. You don't get to take it back. What you do get to do is go buy another one because you're a skateboarder and you need it. You buy skate shoes and they get ripped up because guess what? Grip tape is basically sandpaper and it's going to tear through your shoes. That's the thing skateboarders go through more than anything. You don't get to take it back and go, "Hey, my shoe ripped." They go, "Yeah, well, did you see what you're doing?" But no, I don't. I think a lot of people are unhappy. And again, I'm looking here. Clearly, the community that's been cultivated over here, they understand. Even the ones that are mostly Joe, probably because they hear me talk about this stuff. So by default, you're probably forced to go and look and be like, "Hey, what is this over here? What is like this Mezco that he's talking about? Why is it so expensive? What are these mythic legions?" Right? When I tell you that this is an $80 horse and this is a $50 figure, so we're looking at $130 for this whole thing. And I'm telling you, it's worth every fucking penny. So let's say you're just a Joe fan, right? You collect $25 figures, but you're in this stream every Monday because you've watched my videos. For some odd reason, you find me amusing and entertaining, Thank you. Don't understand why, but I do appreciate it. You're going to just, by default, go, all right, let's go look at this, right? Let me go look at this. And you figure probably half those people are eventually going to be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should try one of these. This Mythic Legions looks really good. And I heard Punk talk about them, and he raves about them. And so I went on YouTube, and I found a few other people. They like them. Let me just try it, right? I know Jeff, Jeff right here, man, right? You're into a lot of different things. So you understand the collecting. It doesn't take much. You want to try something different, right? Quip says, escape mini pals for $30 and cheap $10 to $15 slip-ons from Target. If they get trashed, you just go grab another deck of shoes. Here's what you do. I don't know how much you skate. I don't know how many times you break boards. You either get a VX deck from Santa Cruz. They won't break. Or you get if you can find a Dwindle impact board. They work. They last. And if you want good shoes, buy any shoes with the Michelin sole. They will last. Unlike fucking Vans. You hear me, action figure addict? Unlike fucking Vans, those shit fucking shoes that fall apart. Woo! Okay. Poplander says, one thing I will say is that Hasbro, with the classified line, has done more good than bad. 100% agree. They've made mistakes, but for the most part, I've been happy with the product. I'll reward that. I'm with you, one. I'm with you. I'll be 100% honest. I think Marvel Legends has too. I cannot speak on the Black Series. I do believe both Star Wars and Marvel, both Hasbro teams are handcuffed by the parent company Disney, and obviously through Hasbro. I think Star Wars way more than Marvel Legends, because Marvel Legends is a lot to pick from. But the people that have an issue with all these Spider-Men that have been pushed out this year, I do have to say I was looking at that, and they may not be Spider people, but they're not all like Peter Parker. It's not like there's like 12 Peter Parkers. There's different types of Spider-Men, which I don't understand why people are mad about. That'd be like, there's like all these different types. And again, there are a few different Peter Parkers and a few different Miles Moraleses, but there's different Spider-Men and Spider-Women. And people are mad because they're like, look at all these Marvel Legends are all Spider-Men, but they're different characters. That's almost like being mad. Dude, G.I. Joe did all these military figures. Well, yeah, but they're all different. Anyway, there are not 12 Miles Morales this year. There's a few. I will give you that. Menhoza. Black Series has had some great. They have. And again, I don't want to talk too much on it because I don't really know about it. I know more about Marvel Legends. But I will, again. Yeah. No, John, yeah, I gotta go. I don't even know if we're on topic anymore, are we? I've drank less pop lately. I didn't even go through a full glass. And I gotta get to no glass. The collector says, Spider People, is that like Marvel Troop Builder? Well, there's a lot of different ones. It's crazy, right? I mean, it is absolutely crazy. Matthew says Peter Parker is Slider Man. Miles Morales, Spider Man. All right. Lone Dragon, he's right there. See, he's right there. I gotta be quiet. Just Jeff says OG times factor is just how it's just now getting made. I think Iceman and Grey Beast are the last two that haven't been made exactly for X Factor. Okay. Sorry, that was something else. And again, I understand a lot of the complaints. Sometimes I don't even understand if my topic is. I can't read. I can't because I'm doing all this on my own. And I've always told you guys I'm not a strong reader to begin with. I'm trying to entertain you fucks while reading your shit too. All right? You don't see me with a fucking host. How you laugh when everyone's like... I kind of giggle when... I've had a lot of people... Toy Games was one. There's a few people like, dude, you do it on your own, and I don't understand how you can do it on your own. And I'm like, dude, because I don't have to fucking worry about anyone else. I don't have... I'm not relying on someone else and maybe someone screwing up. I find it easier. I find it easier. So, Black Genghis says, now you see why my episodes are only an hour long. I don't have, again, I don't. There's 93 people watching. What the fuck are you watching? Why are you watching? I keep asking that. And people are probably like, dude, why do you even ask why people are watching? Dude, I want to know what I can do better to keep people. But I do have to go because it's been 3 hours and 40 minutes. This show went from supposed to be an hour and a half. Matthew's 2 hours. 2 hours. It gotta be 2 hours. Gotta do at least 2 hours. And then it was 3 hours is a sweet spot, man. 3 hours. And as I start getting closer and closer, 3 hours, how am I gonna make it? I didn't plan on going an hour on G.I. Joe. I really didn't, but you get me talking on it and I can't stop. And then I'm like, man, well, the topic will probably get 15 minutes. And hell, I don't even talk about the fucking topic all that much. I know we tried. I probably said shit that's going to get people mad at me. Oh, shocker. And we got Tyler Lalonde jumping in here. Hey, Spider-Man. No, not you, the other one. Pretty much. And don't get me wrong. I do understand why people will say, you just did a whole wave of Spider-Man. But it's not like they did a whole wave of Peter Parker. But I do understand the complaint. I do. But at the same time, they're different characters. Who do you need to blame on that? Well, you should blame Marvel because they're the ones that created a whole Spider-Verse. Why do you think Sony thinks they can do a Spider-Verse without Spider-Man? Because there have been so many different Spider-Men created. It's not like Wolverine. I mean, yes, there have been different variants of Wolverine, like his son and X-23. But for the most part, it's always Logan. Okay. 12 Ben Reilly's. Dude, I love that Ben Reilly. I love that figure. Because I don't know, I really liked... I had a couple of the comics. I remember seeing that suit. I didn't know anything about it. I remember when I was younger. I'm talking when I was younger, buying comics. And I remember buying a couple of the comics and just thinking this suit looked awesome. Who would have known that Bill Belichick was going to model his whole Hall of Fame NFL career after Ben Reilly's ripped hooded sweatshirt? All right, I have to go because I do have to work in the morning. And then I was crazy enough to say, hey, you know what I'll do? I'll do another fucking stream with 3 other fucking yahoos at 6:30 every Tuesday. Not to mention, I'm still doing this Thursday show, which, if I didn't tell you, 88 of you, this Thursday with a friend is going to be none other than the one, the only, the most special guest that I will probably ever have on, unless if one of my other kids decide to want to come on, Miss Olivia. And I know you guys have been waiting. And again, she has the out. She has the out until 9 o'clock to say, I don't want to do this. And if she doesn't, I'll pop on and say, hey, you know what? She said she doesn't want to do it. You know what would happen if Olivia said she didn't want to fucking do it and I went on live? She'd be back behind me the whole fucking time. Tyler says one comic had 2 Daredevils and 2 Spider-Man, and Peter wasn't one. Yeah, see? All kinds of. Anyway. And Lone Dragon saying, you know what? Why not? I give you one of these.
Fucking Phil Collins.
All right. I am going to go tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. It's going to be on 4 different channels. Toy Optics, The Island Viper. It'll also be on Baldies, but you can also watch it here, which is perfectly fine. If we ever go stream on one channel, we will push you that way. But as of now, it looks like we're trying to do it on 3 channels. But make sure you go over there and subscribe to all their channels, like everyone's stream, so it helps promote their channels. Obviously, mine's the biggest, so mine's the one that needs it the least. I have to kind of say that. But please tune in this Thursday. Like I said, Miss Olivia, she will be on Thursday with the Friend. And seriously, go check out all the Thursday with the Friends. Not for me, but for the guests that I have on, because I think you're going to get a lot out of it. I am so proud of that show. I absolutely love that show. But I need to fucking stop talking, because if I don't, I never will. So guess what? This is it. I will see you guys all, well, later on today.